All right, guys. No, no fancy, no fancy, uh, no fancy intro. No fancy intro. No plugs. None of that stuff. We're just gonna get. We're gonna get. we're gonna get right into it. Well, sort of. Sort of. All right, there we go. All right. All right. Bring this up. Yeah, this is gonna be kind of an atypical episode. This is not going to be. This is not episode number 947. This is gonna be. This is gonna be a standalone podcast here. I would kindly request that everyone like the video. Like the video. We got 487 people in here. I need 300 likes. If I don't get 300 likes, I'll turn off the chat until I do. I will turn off the chat until I do. Um, obviously, we're all here. Actually, hang on a second. There we go. Got to make sure y'all can see me. Oh boy. Sorry about that. There we go. There we go. Just give me a second, guys. I will get to the, gotta get to the main event. 1 to 3, 3 to 2. Oh, 4 to, oh, that's gotta go to 4 to 1. Shot 1. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, I forgot to hit the plus. Got it. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. I had to calibrate the automatic scene switcher here on OBS. We do it live, baby. We do it live. All right. So, obviously, we are all here to discuss the Pearl and Nick Fuentes situation. I'm going to be reacting. To the interview. No, you haven't missed it. We just started. We're at 293 likes. So far, so good. I will turn on that like clock. Like I said, we're going to talk about the Nick Fuentes situation. But stay with me here. I'm going to discuss my recent trip to Atlanta. As Create the Imaginable says, Donovan looks shaken up. I am absolutely, you got me. I am pressed. I'm pressed. I'm shook. All that. You got me. But I'm going to discuss my recent trip to Atlanta and how it ties into the Just Pearly Thing situation. And stay with me here. Because this is going to dovetail perfectly into today's topic. Let's get fancy and cue the music. Now. Oh, wait a minute. What the hell is going on? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, see, there I go. It should be 1, 3, and then 4. Sorry, guys. Hang on. We do it live. You guys will soon know. Why things are a little bit out of sorts right now. 1 to 3, 3 to 4. That's what it's supposed to be. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. I promise you. You trust me. We are gonna get into this. There we go. We are going to get into the Just Pearly Thing situation, but I want to talk about how my recent trip to Atlanta dovetails perfectly into our topic today. Those of you who have followed me for a while know that I travel quite a bit. And anyone who travels on a regular basis knows that there are certain challenges that can sometimes present themselves during the process. And you guys can let me know if the music is too loud. I think I've got it perfectly, but if I'm wrong, let me know. Anyway, some challenges are minor, some challenges are moderate, and some are extremely difficult to overcome. But because you're on a mission, you adapt, you overcome, and you keep it moving. Now, I've traveled enough to have had my fair share of frustration and obstacles. I've stayed in hotels where riffraff makes their way into the resort every now and again. Right? I've had situations where the hotel's business center wasn't up to snuff. I've had hotels tell me that they don't have a specific piece of equipment I requested beforehand. Right? I've had situations where they did have the equipment, but the equipment didn't work properly. I've had shady Uber drivers try to get me to pay them off the books, right? I've DoorDashed things that either didn't arrive, got canceled, or the wrong food was delivered. I've had deliveries that never made it. I've Instacarted equipment that showed up damaged or the wrong item was delivered. I've been given incorrect information about a piece of equipment I bought only to discover that what I bought didn't necessarily do what I wanted it to do. I've had situations where I've been interrogated about my return. And of course, we've all experienced the frustration of the ice machine not working on your floor or the inconvenience of one or more elevators being out. Right? I've dealt with restaurants not doing or having what they advertise. I've dealt with shitty customer service. I've had flights canceled, delayed, rescheduled. You could name any problem, any challenge, or any obstacle that could be encountered during travel, and I've experienced it. Now, in the grand scheme of things, these are first world problems, right? Okay, so the hotel's printer ran out of ink, so I had to go to the UPS store one time. Inconvenient, yes, but not insurmountable, and not really that common. Okay, so a bum wanders in and has to be apprehended by security. Again, no big deal, as it doesn't happen often. In fact, just about all of the things that I mentioned aren't that common at all. Yes, some happen more than others, but by and large, these sorts of issues are generally isolated, meaning that I almost never have more than one of these obstacles or issue to overcome in a city that I happen to be doing business in. Two at the very most, and even that doesn't happen that often. Until this weekend. Gentlemen, this was without a doubt the absolute worst business trip I have ever had. And it's not close. It's not close. The second worst was in the same city. That is Atlanta, Georgia. But let me rewind a few years and give you a little backstory for those of you who are new to my channel. And again, all this is going to tie in to the Nick Fuentes situation. Those of you who are familiar with my origin story know about my brief stay in Atlanta years and years ago. I had just gotten out of a bad breakup, terrible situation that left me broken homeless. Now, thankfully, my brother bought me a bus ticket to Atlanta, where my mother, brother, and sister were living at the time. And that, fortunately, that allowed me to recover mentally and financially. Now, I was only there for 6 months because even though I did what I had to do while I was there, I hated it. This was my second stint in the ATL, and to my surprise, it hadn't changed much since 2004 when I lived out there the first time. I couldn't stand the victim mentality everyone had. I hated the segregation of races that is indirectly co-signed by the powers that be in the area. I was tired of hearing white people this and white devils and all that. And of course, I didn't like the way I was perceived. Of course, all the usual names they called me when I was there in Atlanta for the second time. White boy, Uncle Tom, sellout, whitewashed, house nigger, all the rest of that. These are people I work with. Now, the reason why it bothered me so much is because I thought when I went back to Atlanta for the second time, I thought that maybe black people had changed in the nearly decade and a half after I graduated high school, where I was, you guessed it, treated the same way by other black students. But ultimately, I learned to live with it, and eventually I not only overcame it, I thrived because of it. Because I'll be honest with you guys, for a lot of years, I struggled with my identity. I really had a hard time dealing with my own people not accepting me as I am. But that bad breakup, the subsequent move to Atlanta, and eventually on to Vegas, taught me that there were no more pressing matters, that there were more pressing matters I had to deal with personally than the ignorance of the black community. Now, I dipped my toe in the water one last time when I worked with O'Shea, but I was quickly reminded that the black community had all but excommunicated me the minute I opened my mouth for the very first time in class after we moved to North Carolina. But I digress. So let's fast forward. And of course, somebody commented that I'm not black. So listen, this is the narrative. This is the narrative that is indicative of people who are critical of me. Donovan's not black, he's a white boy. It is what it is. So let's fast forward to this past weekend in the 770. So Devin and I flew down to Atlanta to shoot episode 13 of the How to Relationship podcast, and the beginning of the trip could not have been smoother. Could have been smoother. Flew right through TSA. American Airlines upgraded us to first class because that particular trip had put us over the threshold of a few loyalty and miles rewards. The ride to the hotel was smooth. Everything was solid. We stayed in Buckhead, which last time I was there was awesome. Great diversity of people. Black people, Hispanic people, Mexican people. I mean, it was great. Great, cool, big city vibe. No riffraff, no hood niggas, none of that. Now, this, among other things, is why I booked the hotel this past weekend in Buckhead. And then we got there. The entrance to the hotel looked like a nightclub. There were ratchets and hood niggas everywhere. And this was the very first time I had ever seen multiple armed police officers in the lobby for no other reason but to keep the peace should things pop off. I asked the lady at the desk, I was like, what happened? And she says to me, what do you mean what happened? Well, there are 3 armed police officers in close proximity. Oh, they're just here to make sure, keep the peace in case anything pops off. Okay, no big deal. So maybe there was an event, right? Maybe something was going on. So Dev and I, we go and we check into our room. We got in our room. Beautiful room. Had a good night's sleep. Well, the next day, I called down to the front desk and I asked them if they had the computer monitor that I had requested that had been confirmed 2 nights before. And not only did the girl act like she didn't know what I was talking about, she told me that they don't allow guests to borrow equipment. Okay, that's a little frustrating, given that I was told literally the opposite just a couple of days before, and a little surprising given where we were, Buckhead. Right? Again, we're in Buckhead, the Beverly Hills of Atlanta. All right, no big deal. I'll grab an Uber to Best Buy and get a portable monitor. I had Devin order refreshments and soft drinks for the guests of the podcast while I was gone so that they'd have time to get cold for the podcast. We're going to put them in the fridge. Now, on BestBuy.com, they had maybe 5 or 6 options that I was interested in. But when I got to the store, they told me that they didn't have any of them in stock. Even when I showed them on my phone, they told me the website was wrong. So now I'm starting to get a little frustrated, but thankfully they did have one model in stock. So I picked it up and I asked the girl, is this compatible with Mac? She looks up from her phone and says, yeah. I said, are you sure? It doesn't say that on the box. She keeps an eye on her phone and with an attitude says it's compatible with Mac. Okay, fine. She works there. She would know, right? She would know, okay, hey, no problem. No problem. All right, maybe I don't know, who knows? Maybe she's going through it with her baby daddy, whatever the case may be. She had some dude's name tattooed on her neck. I don't know. So maybe she did know what was going on. Well, I get back to the hotel room, fire it up, and nothing. It did not work. Every time I turned it on, it would show the logo on the screen, then disappear. Now, I thought I was doing something wrong, so I reread the instructions. Come to find out that not only is this not compatible with a Mac, it came with a software installation disk. Now, I'm old enough to remember when installation disks were always fairly standard with computer hardware, but I hadn't seen, used, or even purchased anything that's required one in like half a decade. I have 11 Mac computers of all different kinds. I've got 2 Mac Pros. I've got 4 or 5 iMacs. I've got 4 MacBooks, 2 MacBook Pros, 2 other MacBooks, MacBook Air. And none of them have a disk drive. Okay, no big deal. It wasn't the first time I'd been given bad information about a product or been in a situation where the website didn't necessarily accurately depict the proper inventory. I'll just Instacart one and have them deliver it directly to the room because time is getting short at that point. To my surprise, the monitor arrived well before the time range. So things were looking up until I plugged it in. The screen is cracked and nothing could be seen. You guys know what it looks like when you try to fire up a cracked screen. It lights up, but you can't see anything. Okay, fine. This wasn't the first time I ordered equipment that was defective or damaged. I'll just have them deliver another one and return the cracked one. Big deal. Now this time it took a little longer, and by now, time was running short. I had a podcast to shoot in 2 hours, and I couldn't get anything calibrated on the system because I needed a monitor to see what I was doing, a monitor that I thought would be supplied by the hotel. No big deal. Now, while we were waiting for the monitor to arrive, we got our drinks delivered. Devin ordered a case of water and, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 2-liter soft drinks. She ordered, like Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, ginger ale, got me some cranberry juice, some orange juice, and a bunch of other drinks, right? I go down to pick up the order, and almost all of it was missing. It said on the receipt, 27 items. The dude delivered 4. He didn't even try to get it right. The dude even took a picture of the order that was clearly not 27 items and marked it complete. He grabbed the case of water and maybe 3 or 4 20-ounce Cokes. Keep in mind, the guests are on the way. So I go back up to the room, which took forever because, get this, one of the elevators was not working. No big deal. Sometimes hotels have elevators that don't work. Okay, whatever. Devin reorders the drink, so we're back in a holding pattern with that. We're back in the holding pattern with that. Ryan Simpson says, land the plane, Sharpe. Get to Pearly, bruv. Nope. And if you don't like it, you can fucking disappear. I'm doing this my way. This is my podcast, and I will do it however I want. So 30 minutes before the guests start arriving, the monitor is finally delivered. Half an hour. That's cutting it close, but I have enough experience with these sort of things to get everything ready quickly because I do it every day in my studio at home. I fire up the monitor, and it is cracked again. Hand to the man, guys. Hand to the man. Now, thankfully, this time, we could actually kind of make out what was on the screen, even though it was all jumbled and whatever. So I was able to get everything set up, albeit it took much longer than it should have, given the state of the monitor. Nonetheless, we finally got it going. A few minutes later, the drinks are delivered, all of them this time. The guests arrived, and the podcast was started on time. And then the monitor went out. Devin couldn't see anything on the screen. Couldn't see anything on the screen at all. So it was already cracked. Then the monitor bloop, goes out. She unplugs it, plugs it back in during the podcast. She can see it, then it starts to fade, then it goes out again, and eventually it couldn't work at all. So she was flying blind and doing her level best to switch the cameras accordingly, but because she couldn't see anything, we weren't sure if it worked. Right? So now this is the 3rd monitor we've purchased, and we are still massively crippled. Well, we pushed through and made it through the podcast, but at this point, we weren't sure if it even recorded. So after everyone leaves, I get another Uber to Target to buy a 4th monitor, praying to every god I could think of for the monitor to not be cracked, number 1. Number 2, that the podcast recorded properly. Number 3, that the camera switched properly. Well, we were 2 for 3. Mercifully, the monitor was not cracked, and the podcast did record, but the cameras didn't switch. Thankfully, it was a great discussion. We got all of the correct audio, and my production team will try to ensure that the quality of the podcast isn't hurt too badly by just having 1 camera angle rather than 2. Now, we were both exhausted, so we go to bed early because, we had an early flight yesterday. I called the front desk and had them schedule a wake-up call for 4 a.m. and went to sleep. 4 a.m. comes and goes without a wake-up call. Let me repeat that. 4 a.m. came and went. No wake-up call. Luckily, I woke up on my own, and our flight was delayed because of the weather. So that gave us a few extra hours to pack and get ready to leave. Our flight gets delayed another couple of hours, so I called the front desk to see if I could get a late checkout. They told me no. A 4-star upscale hotel in Buckhead, Atlanta, that I had spent 4 figures on to stay, who didn't have the equipment they told me they'd allow me to have, didn't have a few extra chairs for the podcast because, quote, it was against company policy, who forgot my wake-up call, told me, nope, we don't do late checkouts on Sunday. Okay, fine, let's get the fuck out of here and get to the airport. So I go downstairs to get a luggage cart, and surprise, surprise, they don't have any available at that time. No problem, a lot of people were probably just using it, right? So I go and hit the button on the elevator, which took forever because, again, only 2 of the 3 elevators is working. Now, at this point, I'd seen so much bullshit, I actually started recording things. I should have started sooner, but I didn't realize that the weekend would turn out to be the absolute dumpster fire it ended up being. So while I'm standing there waiting for the elevator, I hear people screaming outside, and I see 3 or 4 officers wrestling a dude to the ground. 4-star hotel, Buckhead, Atlanta, dude to the ground. This is a video of him in the aftermath. They finally subdued him and sat him down near the hall, near the entrance. This all happened right in front of me on the other side of the glass, as you guys can see on your screen. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I finally get back to the room. We get packed and we leave. But we have to stop by Best Buy to return the 3 monitors that we had purchased the day before. We get there and we start explaining what had happened with the monitors. And they immediately started questioning us about the validity of our claims. We told them that both monitors were cracked. Even though they pulled them out and saw the cracks, they said they had to get a manager to come over and approve the return. Now, by this time, I'm pissed. The city of Atlanta did its level best to sabotage my podcast, and here we are being quizzed on when we bought the monitors, how they were cracked. I said, guys, our Uber is waiting. We need to speed this up. So the manager, who was braiding another girl's hair at the time, again, you can't make this up, finally comes over, examines everything, and finally approves the return. We get to the airport. Yeah, I had to document this stuff. So we get to the airport. And again, Devin and I are flying first class, and there are different lines for first class. If you fly first class, you get priority assistance. Well, now we're being held up by this knucklehead. Does this dude look like somebody? Does this dude look like he is somebody who flies in first class? Let me just broaden this for you guys. This is absolutely unbelievable. Take a look at this dude. Take a look at this dude. By the way, I want you guys to see something here. Take a look at this dude. So this dude, look at this dude's bag. So this, I don't know who the hell he is, but this dude had tattoos all over his face. He had tattoo all over his face, had his pants, you can't see it because he's wearing black underwear. His pants, oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Oh, my fault, guys. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, you can't see. Yeah. You can see his underwear. His underwear are black, so you can't see that his pants are halfway down his you-know-what. Right? Let me move this up a little bit. There we go. That's much better. This is the guy, and he's sitting here arguing with the lady about his flight. Dude didn't have a ticket. But take a look at what he has to bring on the plane. It's a ripped paper bag. A ripped paper bag. This dude is gonna get on a plane with a ripped paper bag? My guess is that he probably didn't have a ticket. But I want you guys to watch something very closely. This, again, is something else that is indicative of the Atlanta lifestyle. Watch, look what he pulls out of this bag. Oh, surprise, fucking surprise. A pair of fucking sneakers. Look at this guy. Can't leave his Jordans behind. Can't leave his J's behind. He can't pack his Jordans. Can't pack his Jordans in a suitcase. You guys see this? You always bring your valuables with you on the plane. This guy values Jordans. And oh, by the way, when we were checking out, people were actually using luggage carts and had multiple pairs of Jordans on the luggage cart. Multiple pairs of Jordans on the luggage cart in shoe boxes. You're going to bring, this guy had 6 or 7 pairs of Jordans. I should have got that on video. This guy had 6 or 7 pairs of Jordans on a luggage cart. There it is, sneakers. And as you, oh, there you go. You guys can see right there, this dude's got tattoos on his face. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we are dealing with in Atlanta. Luckily, our flight is delayed again. Our flight is delayed one more time. And, okay, no problem. Let's go get something to eat. The first restaurant we stopped at was actually open. But when we sat down to eat, the lady said, I'm open for drinks, not food. I said, but your kitchen staff is right there, and there's a menu right in front of us. She says again, I'm open for drinks, not food. Okay, fine. We'll go grab a couple of slices of pepperoni pizza, and then this happens. Watch the screen very closely. Watch the screen and listen to this exchange.
You want stromboli instead?
There's no pepperoni pizza?
This is what we have right here.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You see? Why is this nigga giving me attitude? Like, really? Why is this giving me... Look. This nigga's acting like... And again, look at this menu. The menu's got all this stuff up here. That is all they have. It's the middle of the fucking day. It's the middle of the fucking day. And this guy gets an attitude with me for asking him about... Look, watch how he says this.
You want stromboli instead?
There's no pepperoni pizza?
This is what we have right here.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
See? Look. Had the fucking attitude. Like, bruh, that's your job. That's your job, fam. That is your job. It's not my fault you work at a pizza joint at the fucking airport. Unbelievable. After that exchange, guys, I was so pissed off. I had to sit down to gather myself. Everything that we had attempted to do or get done was made difficult in some way, shape, or form, and I just had it. So after a few minutes, we ended up at Ludacris's Chicken and Beer and had the best service at a restaurant we'd ever had in that city. The waitress, black girl with short hair, with short blonde hair. She was pleasant, she was prompt, and she was quite funny. It was a breath of fresh air. But sitting at that table, eating some of the best fried chicken I've ever had, I finally realized that the city of Atlanta represents the very fabric of black culture and why black people are their own worst enemy. I'd wondered to myself, why on earth was everything like pulling teeth? Why was getting anything done like pulling teeth? A few years back, Devin and I stayed at the Ramada, and we needed plasticware for our food. I left the room, but then I came back and grabbed a few dollars. And Devin said, and I said to Devin, and I quote, I'll bet they charge me for this. She was confused. She's like, why would they charge you for plasticware? Right? But sure enough, The staff charged me $1 a piece for each set of plasticware. Gentlemen, the reason why Atlanta is a shithole is because black people don't even trust each other. They treat everyone like a criminal. They're afraid of people stealing computer monitors. That's why the policy exists at that location. Somebody probably borrowed a computer monitor and never gave it back. So now they can't let people borrow monitors. I have never seen so many businesses. Here's another thing. I've never seen so many businesses require only credit cards but don't accept cash. Why? Because niggas steal. That's why. Buckhead used to be an awesome place to be, guys. It really did. But now, it's just like everywhere else in Clayton County. Ruined by niggas doing nigga shit. The only difference is that the buildings are nicer, cleaner, and newer. But the way things are going, Buckhead will eventually be the new Bankhead. And this is why I will never, ever go to Atlanta again. Outside, listen, shout out to AMS. Love you, man. But I will never go to Atlanta again. Outside of a layover at the airport, I am never setting foot in that godforsaken city again. You niggas can have it. Y'all can have that shit. Everything is like pulling teeth because people do nigga shit. That's why. Elevators are broken because people are doing nigga shit. I have no idea how anybody can get anything done when everybody is treated like a hood nigga. Well, gee, I wonder why they're treated like a hood nigga. Because Buckhead has been infiltrated by hood niggas. Chris Rock said it best. I love black people, but I hate niggas. Oh yeah, I know you. Oh, I know you guys in the chat hate that shit. You niggas have ruined Buckhead. And if, I'm gonna tell you what, if niggas have ruined Buckhead, all hope is lost. All hope is lost. And that is the memo. Wait a minute, hang on. Go back to shot number 1. All right. So anyway, Modern Life Dating says, can a brother issue me a universal N-word pass? Hold on, I'm gonna answer that for you right now.
Nope.
How about this? Oh, wait a minute. Why can't I hear that?
Oh, hell no.
There it is. All right, good. Just messing around. Okay, there we are. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What's up with the soundboard? Good to have you guys in. Today. Let me read these super chats. I think I might have missed one, unfortunately. Oma with the $20 super chat. Oma said, I'm sorry Atlanta sucked. Peace up, pants down. God bless you, Donovan. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Incidentally enough, Oma had his brother bring a monitor. That monitor was cracked too. You can't make this stuff up. Give me a second here. Okay. So, let's go ahead and get to the main event here. So, I put up a poll earlier to obviously drum up a little bit of attention for today's podcast. Who is the most responsible for the Nick Fuentes debacle? Of course, 72% said Pearl, 28% said Nick Fuentes. So, I don't know. As far as fault, I mean, there is a difference between fault and responsibility. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, let me bring up the Nick Fuentes interview. We have 1,300 people watching. We have almost 1,300 people watching. Gentlemen, I need 750 likes. I need 750 likes in the next 10 minutes, or I'm turning off the chat. 750 likes in the next 10 minutes, or I'm turning off the chat. There it is.
So fake Chicago.
Yeah, you're a little bit more
was that?
fake than me, but yeah, I guess
There we
so.
go.
My parents are from the city, so
I'm actually gonna bring this up, and I need to open it with QuickTime because sometimes the VLC media player just blows. All right, guys. Without further ado, here we go.
What up, guys? Welcome to the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel, and welcome to the Sit Down. Before I start, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. That way you're going to be notified of my daily videos. Like the video on your way in, and leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are. Today, I have a special guest, Nick Fuentes.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Okay, so let me answer the first question that people seem to be asking. Why did she interview Nick Fuentes, a known racist? Why did she interview Nick Fuentes, a known racist? Is Nick Fuentes a racist? Absolutely. He is absolutely a racist. But do you want to know why? You want to know why Pearl interviewed Nick Fuentes? Because she fucking wanted to. That's why. She doesn't need y'all. Listen, she doesn't need y'all's permission to interview anybody. She interviewed Nick Fuentes because Nick Fuentes is polarizing, and Pearl has maintained many times on and off camera she is about entertainment. Gentlemen, this is how you grow your channel. Pearl knows, dude. She knew exactly what she was doing when she brought in Nick Fuentes. Unfortunately, she didn't do the research that she needed to do, and of course, she ended up saying a few things that were ill-advised. And of course, we'll get into that later.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So I looked you up on Google, okay? So he is a political commentator with over 25,000 followers on his own site, Cozy TV.
Anybody who's here we are. Yeah, thank you, Eugene says, how about y'all wait for Donovan to get to it and stop asking? Look, man, you guys are not going to divert the flow of the show, guys.
Have been banned on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, and TikTok. Your Wikipedia page describes you as a right-wing extremist who denies the Holocaust, is on the no-fly list, and support.
Denies the Holocaust. Dude, what are we doing? Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? Denying the Holocaust, Nick? Dude, come on. Get out of here. I don't think Nick even believes that. This is funny. Raphael Michael says she probably likes him. No, Nick is not exactly Pearl's type, if you know what I mean. Hey, man, hey, Pearl is my friend. That don't mean I can't keep it real. It is what it is. So no, she doesn't like him. We know what her type is. LDU Lifestyle says it's her show. She can interview whoever she wants.
Yep.
Absolutely. Modak with the $10 super chat. I appreciate that very much. Let's continue.
Putin.
Yeah, that's about right.
Is there anything I missed?
Yeah.
So welcome to the show. So what did you do to get this crazy reputation?
Well, a lot of those things are true.
They are true.
See, a lot of those things are true. Come on.
Some of them,
Do you
and some
support
more than
Putin?
others. I do support Putin.
Denzel says Donovan is about to be all kinds of hit pieces after this. Tell me something I don't already know.
Yeah, that's
Oh, is it?
that's actually an understatement, probably.
What do you?
I don't know. Something tells me that his facial expression almost looks like he enjoys kind of trolling everybody.
'Cause, I really support Putin. I support the war. I support Russia in the war.
Keith A says, I know Donovan will not talk about Pearl saying slavery was not that bad. Major red flag. Well, if you stick around, I might.
Wow.
Why do you not? Are you?
I don't know. I just thought he wasn't good. Look, I'm an outsider in the foreign policy stuff. I don't know the ins and outs. You know, I'm just on the outside looking in. But why don't we start away from the politics?
Okay.
We'll get into it. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Chicago.
Okay. Okay, the suburbs, city.
The west suburbs, yeah.
Okay, so fake Chicago.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Well, yeah, you're a little bit more fake than me, but yeah, I guess so. My parents are from the city, so it's genetic, I guess.
Okay, and do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have a twin sister.
Okay, and how
What, Nikki Fuentes?
does your family feel about you doing political commentating? Are they conservative too?
Yeah, they're conservative. They're not as conservative as me, but they're very supportive. You know, they're boomers, so they have this, we'll support you no matter what you do, that kind of thing. It's funny, though, because when I was growing
I think Nick is a part of the generation who has figured out if you take, extreme right-wing stances, you can this doesn't mean that he doesn't believe what he talks about, but clearly he leans into it because it gets eyeballs.
that was the attitude, and I think they meant more like, you could be an artist, not like a far-right extremist. So,
Yeah, see, far-right extreme, right? Man, you got guys, Alex Jones, Donald Trump, Bill O'Reilly, the Proud Boys, Gavin McInnes, all those guys. Nick Fuentes saw, hey, you know what? I kind of buy into this right wing stuff. Then he started talking about it, and he's the kind of guy who I think he leans into it.
so yeah, they don't necessarily support everything I say, but they support me as their son.
Mm-hmm. So when did this start? So like where did your career start? I know you worked for the Daily Wire at one point. Was that the beginning?
Almost. Yeah, I knew a lot of the people there. I work with them. This was 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school in Boston, and I linked up with
That explains a lot, actually. He went to school in Boston.
this girl, Cassie Dillon, who she was working with them at the time. She was a fellow there, so she wasn't actually an employee. I guess she was kind of like a glorified intern.
The like clock is on. You've got 10 minutes to get me to... Actually, you got 10 minutes to get me to 900 likes. I got 1,319 people in here watching. I need 900 likes. I need another 238 likes, or I turn the chat off.
And
Is
so,
she a YouTuber now? Should I know her?
no, she's not really relevant,
Oh,
but she was just an activist. She was a journalist.
Okay.
She was responsible for some viral videos during that whole SJW Gamergate thing that was going on
Yeah, that was back in 14. We covered that at ROK.
back in 2016.
No, that was 2014.
And so she had a show on Right Side
Ness Needs Boo says, what about Boston? Boston is a racist city, my friend. It is what it is.
Broadcasting Network. They're the people. They used to stream all the Trump rallies. They're really big on Rumble now. And so they brought on a bunch of people after the election to do shows, and they brought her on, and I met her, and
Oh, shout out to Easy Bands in the house, man. Good to see you in here. Dude, Devin and I were just talking about you today.
we got to know each other, and so she got me a show there, and so I started doing a show
Weapon X, come on, man. Bro, I clicked already. Chill, haha, chill. Dude, like, there's no way for me to know that. Hit the like!
every night, and I never stop. So that's what I still do today, but independently now.
Okay, so wait, so who did you say it was before?
James Freeman said, I'm not going to like this garbage bum. Then you can see your way out. Somebody get James Freeman up out of here.
Before, it was Right Side Broadcasting.
Okay. And what happened with that? Why did you stop?
Well, I got fired / quit because I went to the Charlottesville rally. You know Charlottesville?
You went to the Charlottesville rally?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, I mean, look.
Wait. Who did I bring on?
Andy says, name a black or brown person from Boston. You can't? Yeah, Bobby Brown. It's from Roxbury.
Okay, well, look, like, so look, I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but in fairness, it wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, no shit.
What do you mean? Okay, wait. Okay, so you at 18, is that roughly when you started?
I was 17.
17, okay.
Dark Energy said, Pearly need a crash course on Black history before the next podcast.
Start streaming.
No, I was 18.
You
Yeah.
start streaming with this media company. And then how long did you stream for them?
About 6 months.
Oh, that's it.
Yep, new edition.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, February 2017 to August.
And then you went to the Charlottesville. Why did you go to that?
So
Patrice is from Boston. I didn't know that.
Initially-
Yeah, new edition is from Boston. That's right.
people had reached out to me in May 2017, and they said, hey, do you want to speak at this rally? And they told me who was going to be there, and it was all these alt-right types. And
You put alt.
Frank Mullah, now you're a longtime follower of mine. Be respectful. Be respectful, please.
Right. They're not actually alt-right. You just said the quotes.
Well, because people's understand it. People would consider me alt-right.
Okay.
But
Are you not? You're not alt-right.
I'm not.
Okay.
Now, that's not to say that I'm not like a far-right person, because I am.
Do you see? It's like he likes saying he's a far-right person just because it gets such a visceral reaction from the left.
It's alt-right.
Well, it's guys like Richard Spencer and Mike Enoch and those.
Who's that for the average? I don't know who that is.
They're all these guys from like, really, they were more prominent like 7 years ago, 7 years ago, and they were kind of like the far right fringe during the Trump election. But
Epics and More 24, right before Devin deleted it, says Pearl is getting crash courses on BBC rather than Black History. Listen, if she is, she's very, very good at hiding it, because I'll tell you what, she puts in a lot of hours. Nice try.
the disagreements I had with them were, they're not Christian, they're atheist, and they had all these other kinds of views about, like, basically they were racist liberals. That's what we, like, a lot of the Christians in the far-right scene, we would pejoratively say, you're just a racist liberal, because they were liberal about women, they were liberal about everything.
What do you mean when you say they were liberal about women and everything?
Like, they were feminists. Like, they believed in equal rights, and they thought that women should work, and they believed that women should participate in politics, as one example. They were in favor of abortion, but they also just happen to be in favor of a white country, having a white country. So they were racist liberals.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. So you're saying they were feminists because they believed in equal rights.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they also believed in a white country. So it's like they would actually be accurately white supremacists.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Okay.
But
Royalty too, appreciate that.
ideologically, they were liberal. They just also happen to be racial realist is a term that was very popular back then. And so anyway, so I saw the list there. That's the reason I put it in scare quotes, because people would call me
Scare quotes. Oh, this guy knows all the buzzwords. You guys have less than 5 minutes to get me to 900 likes. You guys, you got 120. I need 126 more likes in the next 4.5 minutes, or I'm turning the chat off until I get there.
And I understand the differences are very granular, and most people wouldn't really understand that because they're not into it like that. But I never consider myself that. So I took a look at the list, which was like David Duke and Spencer and these types, and I said, yeah, not really interested.
Yeah, Axel Ace, she's not going anywhere. She's not going anywhere. She's not going anywhere. The manosphere or the black manosphere at large, dude, they can't. There is no black manosphere, guys. The black manosphere is niggatube. The black manosphere does 3 things: talk shit about white people, or talk shit about why they don't like white people, right? What's the second thing they do? Oh, the second thing they do is they beef with each other, and then they talk shit about me.
And then August rolled around, and it was a week before the rally, and I heard that all these other people are going to be there. I heard that Faith Goldie was going to be there. It was a friend of mine, Gavin McInnes, Sam Hyde, and these were more like mainstream figures.
Spartan Existence says focus on good content, and we will organically like. Nope, sorry. I got to time you out for that one, and I don't give a fuck. Everybody asks for likes. I can't. Don't tell me how to run my podcast, guys.
Some
Sorry.
people who I liked. So I said, all right, I'll take the trip out there, and, the rest.
Christopher Blamer says she'll be done in a month. Want to bet? Anybody? Dude, Christopher, you don't believe that. Stop it.
No, I don't even remember. So what happened? Someone died, didn't it?
Yeah, this woman died, and there's a lot. It's very contentious what exactly happened there, because
there was a shooting. Is that what happened?
No, she got ran over by a car.
Oh, okay, it said Charlottesville shooting, but...
Yeah.
On here, but okay. She got ran over by a car, and that was who ran her over?
This guy who was with this group called Vanguard America, which if you've heard of Patriot Front, maybe not. They did a lot of these viral rallies recently, and they're a splinter group from this group called Vanguard America.
And Vanguard America, that's who's throwing the event?
No, they were like a participant.
Oh, they were one of the participants.
Yeah, because the rally was technically called Unite the Right.
Okay.
And so the idea was to bring everybody together.
Morel Fortall says, I'm 6'4". Oh, okay.
From
but like
the right.
a lot of like unfortunate people showed up. who like nobody really likes, and ruined it for everybody.
Like who?
Like the National Socialist Movement and Vanguard America and these types.
LDU Lifestyle with the 500 KESs, whatever that is, says, why is there even a black manosphere? The manosphere is not a race issue, it's a man issue. Yeah, exactly. The black manosphere is like the city of Atlanta. It bitches and moans about racism and segregation and all that, yet they segregate themselves from each other. There's no such thing as the black manosphere, y'all. There's no such thing as a black manosphere. It's a bunch of niggas doing nigga shit. That's what it is. There's a bunch of niggas doing nigga shit. Everybody's beefing with everybody, talking shit, da-da-da-da-da, response videos, and man, he's about to go in, and all that other kind of stuff. That's all these dudes do. That's all they do. Well, guess what? They do the same thing in Atlanta. That's why Atlanta is a shithole. Because it's being run down by ain't shit niggas. I said it.
And so, now, for the record, I wasn't there at the Tiki Torch thing. That's like the famous picture is people with the tiki torches. I wasn't there for that. I got there the morning after. That was the Friday night. Saturday morning was the actual rally. And the purpose of the rally was they were going to rename the park.
All right, guys, 849 likes. I need 51 likes in the next 43 seconds.
It was Robert E. Lee Park.
Yeah, Chuck Williams said you wanted to be a part of the Black Manosphere. Yes, I did, until I figured out that the Black Manosphere was Nigatube. So there.
And there was a Robert E. Lee.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming, man. Look, I'll answer all y'all's questions. I'll take all you trolls on. Yeah, you're right. I did want to be a part of the Black Manosphere because I believed O'Shea when he said he was trying to do something positive for the black community. Nope. All this nigga does is fuck Ugandan prostitutes and talk shit about other content creators.
Statue at UVA, and so they were going to take down the statue, rename the park. And so the protests that converged in Charlottesville typically were about that. So I was there to protest the changing of the name. Also, it was about bringing the right wing together. And so I went there for those reasons and for those people. And then it turned into this big, ugly disaster, because Antifa showed up and there was this big clash. But it was a really bad look for everybody, so RSBN fired me.
I told you guys I needed 800. I needed 897. 3 more likes, or I will keep the chat off. 899. Come on, somebody else, dude. Somebody's watching that didn't like the video. I got an there
so
we
they
are.
fired
All
you
right.
because you were there, even if you explained why you were there.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, and this is not me like downplaying it. This is just me saying what happened. I was there for like 2 hours. Like there was a Tiki Torch thing on Friday. I got there Saturday morning. By the time I left my hotel, the actual rally had already been dispersed by the cops because the rally goers were fighting with Antifa. There was so much violence, the cops just shut it down. So I left my hotel, and it was basically over by...
I can't believe Fuentes isn't like sweating. Like he looks like he's got that's a pretty thick coat.
Time I got there. So I really didn't even participate. And that's not to say, I mean, I supported the cause of bringing the right wing together.
Hotep Jesus says it's Pearly. Oh, Hotep Jesus is in the house. Well, goddamn. Shout out Hotep Jesus says is Pearly racist? No, she's not racist.
And like protesting the removal of the monument. I didn't like everybody there. I didn't like everything that went on there. But I got blamed for it. I was all over the press. I was in the Chicago Trib, and I was on the Today Show, and I didn't know how the media worked, but they kind of propped me up as like, oh, this is like a radicalized white nationalist teenager.
And you were 17 at the time, right?
Yeah, or 18. Yeah,
18.
I was 18.
Wow. And so, wait, so the whole purpose of that was literally just to protest the name changing of the park.
Well, that was one of the reasons,
and then unite the right. So bring the right, everyone on, all these different groups on the right together.
Right.
But the problem is there's actual...
Kel says she's dumb, not racist. No, not necessarily. She said some dumb things, but she is not dumb. She has 1 1/3 of a million subscribers. You can't be... Nobody accidentally lucks into that. Nice try, though.
Extremists at this movement.
Well, I'm an extremist. There were people that were like, just like goofball, like skinhead types, and I'm not about that. I mean, I'm a Catholic. I would call myself like a Catholic reactionary or something like that. But you had guys there that had like, NSM is the main one, National Socialist.
Oh, Serge says, don't disrespect O'Shea, man. He's the OG passport, bro, and he's got a lot of game. Oh, boy. Serge, O'Shea has about as much game as you do. He's got no game. He's got no game. He has admitted to hiring, he's done videos. He has admitted to hiring prostitutes in Uganda. And he openly, now this is one thing I will give him credit about. He tricks on these hoes out here, but he's open about it. He's like, hey man, we tricking on these hoes. Hey man, if he's tricking and admits it, I'm not mad at that. But I'm not gonna sit here and say that he has game. The fuck are you talking about? O'Shea has game. Ay, 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 ay.
Movement. Their flag is like a swastika.
Yeah, MLD is the OG passport, bro. MLD went to Japan like 5 years ago. Fuck out of here.
The flag and so I don't really identify with that.
Anybody who thinks O'Shea, see, here we go. Anybody who thinks O'Shea is an OG and has game, how can I put this? You're just not paying attention. You're not paying attention.
Scene. So they showed up and it turned into, the media labeled it like a Nazi rally. But that's not really what it was.
So then what happened next in your career? You just started streaming on your own?
Yeah, so I basically just started doing the show the next week on my own YouTube channel.
And then,
yeah, he figured out that trolling was profitable.
So you never worked for the Daily Wire?
No,
because where's the beef? I'm just trying to figure out where this beef came from with like Daily Wire and Turning Point.
Yeah, that doesn't really have a whole lot to do with me. They have beef because
Hot Rod Topic says, hey Don, all trolls aside, can you hook me up with Pearl? I don't think you're her type, dude.
Turning
Sorry,
Point
man.
USA is very aggressive with how they push themselves on the campus. Daily Wire is affiliated with this group called Young America's Foundation, and they fight for market share on the campus, basically, with like the conservative campus scene. So there's some antipathy for that reason, and also they're in.
Sean Green, like, you're in the wrong. Sean Green is trying to get kicked out. Why would anyone hate on Nick? Nick Fuentes is the man. Hey, look, man. Hey, look. If you think Nick Fuentes is the man, it is what it is. It is what it is. Sean Green is probably likely the same as Nick Fuentes. He gets off on getting a visceral reaction from making outlandish statements. Again, that doesn't mean that Nick Fuentes doesn't believe what he's saying, but I think that he embellishes and makes and says things in such a way that makes it incendiary.
Petition, basically. So, but I had hung around, like Cassie Dillon was Daily Wire, and I hung out with a few of their writers, this guy Elliot Hamilton, Aaron Bandler, a few others, and they were getting ready to offer me a job because I did some things for them, and they wrote some articles about me, and
Observant in Babylon says Pearl got roasted in her own comment section last night for apologizing. I told her she shouldn't do it, but she's not always going to do what I advise her to do. It is what it is.
Yep, I kept pushing on the Israel issue, and so they blacklisted me. They cut me off. Then they went out everywhere to Media Matters, which is this left-wing hit piece mill, and they started sending clips from my show and saying, this guy's a Nazi, do hit pieces on him, call my boss, try to get me fired. So
tell me,
Democrat Poop City. I think that is the funniest. Dude, I got to give you a Don DeMarco for that. Democrat Poop City. I love the name.
the Israel issue, because just for the average person isn't going to know what you're talking about.
Sure.
And I sure don't. So.
Yeah, well, it's really kind of simple. I mean, people don't have to agree with me to see the contradiction that I'm about to.
Yeah, Michael Camara says a lot of trolls on here pretending to be big fans of Nick. Listen, if you're a fan of Nick Fuentes, I don't care. I'm not a fan of the guy. It is what it is. If you're a fan of him, great. I'm happy for you.
Explain.
Don
So
DeMarco.
I supported Trump, and I still do, because he's America first.
Okay.
Which is really
Spartan Existence says, has Pearl ever revealed her body count? Even if she did, you wouldn't believe it.
like a non-ideological position. It says, look, this is the American government. The American government is going to...
Luke Perry says, someone get Sean Green the fuck out of here. No, I'm going to let him stay. He's like what Sean Green is doing is essentially what Nick Fuentes is doing. He's just saying things to try to piss people off. And maybe he really does like Nick Fuentes, but he knows that Nick Fuentes is a polarizing figure. And like Nick, Sean Green gets off on just saying crazy shit to get a reaction. That's it.
Represent the American people and not the interests of foreign governments or multinational corporations. We're going to do what's in the best interest of the citizens, not like the rich or some global elite or the United Nations. Pretty straightforward. So here I am, a right-wing college guy, waving the flag, saying, yeah, America first all day. But if you look in conservative media, all they talk about is Israel. And I thought that was very conspicuous. Prager University, bright.
Okay, so there are going to be points in this interview. I'm not going to know what the hell is going on because I don't know. I'm not a political guy. I know enough about politics not to sound stupid when asked a question, but I don't know about politics.
Bar, Daily Wire, they would have 3 articles that totally made sense to me.
ACT says, hey, Donovan, new to your channel, bro. Why do you hate Nick? I don't hate Nick. Who said I hate Nick? I don't hate Nick. Nick's a racist. Okay. Fine. It is what it is. I don't hate Nick Fuentes.
Like, here's the case for low taxes. Here's the case for, having kids, not having kids out of wedlock. Here's the case for whatever. And then they'd have an article like, here's why Palestine has to be wiped off the face of the earth.
I remember seeing that a couple years ago, because when I first started watching conservative media, but I was always just so confused because the average person, we don't really understand foreign policy. We don't really understand what's going on overseas.
Right.
New Jersey Groiper says, would you debate Nick if you think he's wrong? I don't know anything about what Nick talks about. I just don't.
Well, yeah, because it's not our country. It's not our business.
Right.
And so I thought that was very weird. And when I was younger, when I was in high school, I was all on board with that. I was like, yeah, okay. But then I started to...
And wait, just sorry to break it down a little.
Black Sunday says Nick is also against interracial dating, and overall he's just a weirdo, and I'm not going to go deep into that. Listen, a lot of white dudes. There are a lot of white dudes who are against interracial dating.
Israel versus Palestine. You're saying that there's a war there going on?
Yeah, it's very contentious, and there's a lot of history there.
It's over borders, right, if I remember correctly?
Well, fundamentally, it's over land, because 100...
Christopher Blamerson says, see, she knows, playing aloof is her game. No, it's called playing dumb, dude. If you're going to accuse somebody of something, then, come on.
Years ago, the Jews owned 5% of the land. Okay. And they were 3% of the population over there.
Okay.
So they were a very tiny minority at the beginning of the 20th century. They had almost no land, and there were no Jews there. Mm-hmm. And then they began this active campaign to settle what was then called Palestine. And that's the Roman term. It's called Palestine under the Roman Empire. And at the turn of the last century, it was the Turks, the Turkish Empire, that controlled that area. And so the Zionist movement, that's what Zionism is, because the Jews never had their own country. They were scattered all over the world since the Second Temple was destroyed in the first.
Boo Boo Scooby says, man, I've seen so many black dudes give me dirty looks when I'm with my black girlfriend. Y'all be getting mad too. I don't get mad at that. The only men who get upset about white dudes who date black women are black men who can't date outside their race. Right? You guys, you understand? The only, these are men who can't date outside their race. They can't. Just like black women who have a problem with white women who date black guys, these are black women who can't date outside their race. I can date outside my race. So, it is what it is. At that, have at it.
Century.
I'm all about
the Jews scattered all over the world, and
you said that's what Zionism is. Sorry, Zionism is. Sorry,
yes.
I don't know these words.
Yeah.
So it's them trying to take the land.
Zionism is in the late 19th century.
I'll tell you what, I'm learning a lot here. That's for sure.
They said, hey, we want our own country. We want our own country that's just for the Jews. The problem is, everything's taken. They looked at the map of the world.
Palestine was there first.
Right. But that was not the only place they considered, because they talked about settling in Uruguay and Zimbabwe and a few other places, and they settled on Palestine for religious reasons and historical reasons. And so they began to settle the land. And so they moved there and they started agitating the Muslim. They actually were terrorists there. A lot of people don't know this. Everybody says Muslims are the terrorists. But it was really the Jews that kind of invented that in the Middle East against the British, against the Americans, against the Muslims. They did bus bombings. They bombed civilian infrastructure, military infrastructure.
Jesus Christ.
The Jews did. Okay.
The Zionist settlers.
Why is the narrative that, because if I remember correctly at the time, the narrative was that Palestine was doing it. Is that untrue?
Well, they do it now.
Oh, okay.
But it's about the power dynamic. Because 100 years ago, the Muslim government was in power, and then it was a British government. And
John Anderson says she should clarify what she meant. I don't think she should be crucified. We make mistakes in our speech, learn to orient ourselves in the social hierarchy and solve problems. Yep. Exactly. She actually did an apology video, which I thought was pretty good.
Jews were in the minority, and they were agitating for their own state. Then they got their state, and they built up a military, and they got all the support from America, and now the Muslim Palestinians are in the minority, and now they use these guerrilla militant terror tactics. So it's really just about the power differential. And that's kind of what
But your point of view is that they were there first, Palestine?
Well, here's the thing. I don't really care. I don't have a dog in that fight.
Oh, but your point of view is that we should stay out of it.
My point of view is that there is this, and we have to.
Arl, I think you guys look, man. I'm not going to sit here and say that oftentimes as an interviewer, you are going to ask questions you know the answers to, so that the guest can say it. Adam Sosnick does this a lot, but Pearl is not a political aficionado, not that I know of. So I don't know.
If you're a political person, we have to talk about it. Why does conservative media care so much about the Israel-Palestine conflict? It has to do with...
Sean Green says, what does Donovan not like about Nick? Well, for one, the bushy eyebrows kind of bother me. And I'm not really, I don't know, the jacket is a little off. But hey, if he's cool, if he likes it, I love it.
Well, who's making those editorial decisions in conservative media?
And they're Jewish.
They all have that in common. I mean, like...
Why?
Wishbone, the answer is yes.
It's okay. Maybe they just have closer ties, but I'm thinking from my point of view, I'm Irish. I don't really care what goes on in Ireland. Why do they have why do you think they have such strong opinions on this?
They're very tribal.
Yes, of course.
And it's no secret that they're a tribal people. You know, their identity has resisted assimilation for thousands of years. Think about it. Jews have never had a country until 60, 70 years ago, but they've maintained their religion, their culture, their ethnic identity, being scattered all over the world and minorities in every country. Almost every other group assimilates, and they eventually become like the people around them, you know, or they'll intermarry and they just get diluted to the point that they don't exist. So, and that's not for no reason. They have a very strong Jewish identity, and so what goes on in Israel is of great significance to them, and they have a personal stake in that. So
that's why you feel like conservative media talks about that so much, even though it's not an American issue.
That is why.
That was the issue that you had with the different conservative media.
Gunnar Lindblom is too alpha. Let's calm down. Be respectful of Pearl. Be respectful of Nick, guys.
Yeah, places.
Yeah, and that's where that beef came from, because here I was naively hearing the rhetoric and the branding, which was America first. And I said, yeah, America first. And then I said, well, okay, America first. Well, you know, I don't see how Israel fits into that. And then they said, whoa, yo, you're asking too many questions. Literally. They were like, you can't ask that anymore. I'm like, well, why not? And specifically because...
Did they say that, actually, like word for word? Wow, really?
Yeah.
Who said it?
This guy, Elliot Hamilton, who worked for them.
Jesus.
And he's Jewish.
I feel like, have I heard that name before?
It's funny. Pearl is looking this shit up. She's looking this shit up as they speak.
Well, maybe. But he's like a low-level writer.
Okay.
But
that's all good, man. Don't sweat it.
Literally told me,
Dwayne Rhodes says, people are jealous of her success. I was waiting for somebody to say this. I was waiting for somebody to say this. So the quote unquote black manosphere is upset about the comments that Pearl made, about black people and all that. And we'll get to that when we get to that. But the underlying issue with black YouTube is the mirror is being shown to them. The mirror is being shown to them. Since when has Nigatube been as respectful to black people as Pearl? Pearl employs these people. I don't know anybody on Nigatube who, and I know what Pearl plays. I know what Pearl pays Blessing. I know exactly what she pays him. She pays him very handsomely. She pays him very handsomely because he is very, very good at what he does. He is awesome at what he does. The dude is, Jesus Christ, the dude is unbelievable. I had a 5-minute conversation with him when I was up in Connecticut about streaming in 4K. Like, the guy's he's a freaking genius. I don't know any black YouTubers. in the black manosphere who employ as many black people as Pearl does. Right? And on her apology video, well, why does she have black people on? Because her recruiter is her recruiter is Nigerian. Or her recruiter was Nigerian. And as a Nigerian, he has access to other Nigerian people. You got a black Nigerian in England. I mean, what are you going to do? Recruit white people? No. They're going to, your recruiters are going to reach out to people that they have the most, rapport with. There it is. Create the Imaginable says her haters were waiting for Pearl to make a wrong step. Yeah, that's all this is. They were just waiting. It is what it is.
Anti-Semitic to ask that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. And the arrangement specifically that I was talking about is foreign aid. Mm-hmm. Israel's the #1 recipient of foreign aid from America.
Really?
Yeah.
How much money do we send over there?
$3.8 billion per year.
We send them $3.8 billion a year. Wow.
And here's the thing.
Oh, I didn't know Nick works for Ye. How about that?
That's a high number. They've been the
okay. Gunnar says he's already booted Nick. Jesus Christ. My God. Like, dude, this stuff happens. Jesus. Oh, my God. In December. Ay. Wishbone says, I wonder will Fresh and Fit jump on this, Donovan? No, they won't. They won't.
#1 recipient since 1978. Mm-hmm. You know who the next highest recipient is? Egypt. Egypt is the second highest recipient because we basically bought them out. Egypt was going to war against Israel for decades until we started paying them basically to not do that.
Really?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Would the conservatives say that's not true?
What would they say? Their rebuttal would be that, well, we give them so much aid because they're our closest ally and they do so much for us.
Yeah, Michael M says, my dude, not even a break in a sweat and that mammoth of a jumper. That's what I'm saying. I'm a hot-blooded individual. Jesus Christ, man.
But the fact of the matter is that there exists an extremely influential lobby in America that lobbies American politicians to support that foreign aid. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have anything to do... In other words, we don't give Israel that money because it makes sense for us, or Egypt for that matter. We give them that money because politicians are paid and influenced by a foreign interest lobby to pass those policies.
But could you explain that more? I'm sorry.
Sure, yeah. So in other words, if I'm an American saying, where should we send our money? Mm-hmm. I would probably send it to, I don't know, the poorest countries in the world. Mm-hmm. That would be a place to start. Where is it? Sub-Saharan Africa.
Do you think we should send any money overseas?
I think it's
Now, see, this is actually a good series of questions here. It sounds like she's kind of pushing back on his views. She can't really push back like she wants because she doesn't know as much as he does, but she's asking fairly decent questions.
Part of me says no, we should rebuild our own country first. Another part of me says that's part of foreign policy. There is a benefit sometimes for giving foreign aid. Because look at what China's doing. Mm-hmm. China is spending a lot of money in Africa to build up these countries so they can harness the raw materials in Africa.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what, I didn't know any of this stuff.
Because they have all the rare earth minerals that we now need for phones and computers and things. So China's spending it very wisely, and they're building up infrastructure. They're building ports, highways, bridges.
Where are they doing that in Africa?
Well, they're doing it in the Congo,
Oh,
The
okay.
Congo's a very resource-rich country. They're doing it in West Africa.
But the idea is that there's something in it for them, and you
Yeah.
feel like in Egypt and in
Israel.
Sorry, in Egypt. So you feel like in Egypt and Israel, there's nothing in it for us,
No, there isn't.
and that's so you're not necessarily against sending foreign aid. You're just against sending foreign aid for interests that aren't ours, and these interests seem to be for the Jews. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. It's, in other words, it's if you're an American and you're going to lay out, should we send money? Where should we send it? How much? If you were doing that with our interest in mind, you wouldn't send it to Israel and Egypt first. The
Right.
reason it's sent there is because there are very influential groups that lean on politicians.
Right.
And the politicians make the decisions about where to send the money. Because there's like a group, here's a good example. There's a group called AIPAC, American Israel Public Affairs Committee. And their job is to lobby for foreign aid and for things like that. Every president speaks at their conference.
Wow.
The congressional leadership of both parties speaks there. 2/3 of the congressmen speak there. And that would be like if there was a group lobbying for China that said like we support.
Spartan Existence says Pearl looks maxes at a 5.5. You're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right. And that rating is exactly where it needs to be. Because bitches that are a 7 or above,
She belongs to the streets.
The People's Republic of China. We want America to do everything for China. And like, imagine if all the politicians spoke there. You'd be like, oh, like the government's owned by China.
Oh,
G Money with the $5 super chat says Donovan, Google the USS Liberty incident. Israel knowingly sank an American warship and killed many Americans. Wow. Okay.
and so you think that the government's owned by Israel and Egypt?
Yeah, not necessarily Egypt, but yeah, Israel.
How would that even work? Just because they are the politicians getting money from?
Ultra Humanite says, how many times did Pearl sleep with Donovan for him to defend her? I think I stopped counting at 12.
Or is it just
Keep it
because
coming!
they're connected
Keep
with
it coming!
Jewish people? Like I'm thinking logically because if
Yeah, hey, Ultra Humanite, yo, the peace leave was on point. The peace leave was on point. Real talk.
if someone random's running for office and they're not Jewish, how are they owned by a country overseas?
It's about the money.
So they're just getting paid.
They're getting paid, and here's the thing: if they don't go along with it, there's all kinds of consequences. Like
Grenada says, damn, you smashed Pearl, LOL. Fucking idiot. See, this is what people are doing with Pearl. What just happened here is Grenada knows damn well I didn't smash Pearl. He knows damn well that's not true. But he's pretending to think it's true so that he has something to talk about, which is what this whole outrage is all about. Oh my God, I can't believe Pearl is a racist. Nobody believes Pearl is a racist. They want everybody to think that Pearl is a racist, so they now have reason to not like her.
often, what will happen is if somebody goes against the interest, the easiest way to get them out of office is to pour a ton of money into a primary challenger. So if I'm like a Republican and I say, you know what, like no more foreign aid, the Republican Party and like these influential Zionist groups will fund a Republican to challenge me in the next election for the Republican nomination. And often, you know, that person will win because money in local races and like, or not local races, but, you know, in congressional races, it goes a long way.
Passport Diesel says Donovan is an OG. I've been following him for years. We're about the same age. Keep it up, bro. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
So they'll do that. The other thing they'll do is
Christopher Blamerson says nobody wants to smash Pearl in real life. I love how people. I love how people try to manifest these things into existence.
you in the media. Like, look at what happened with Ye recently. He made those comments, and
Yeah, I
like
remember that.
Adidas pulled their deal with him.
Yeah, I remember that.
Why would they do that? They just lost this year. They're on track to lose $750 million because they don't have Yeezy. Why would a company give up $750 million? People didn't stop buying Yeezys because of the comments. Of
course not.
They did it because the ADL went after Adidas.
The ADL, and that's the organization you said earlier.
This is a different one.
Oh, this is a different organization. What?
Sidebar, me and my friends back in back when I lived in High Point. We used to wrestle. We used to wrestle and spar all the time. And we had this move called the Anaconda Deathlock. We called it the ADL.
What's that stand for?
Anti-Defamation League.
Oh, okay. So, I've heard of the Anti-Defamation League, so the ADL. Well, I'm still going to call it the Anaconda Deathlock. Shout out to Mike, Fred, David, and John.
And the defamation is
what's the Anti-Defamation League?
So they came around 100 years ago because...
Hey, Aaron Clary's in the house! Or I hope it's Aaron Clary. I guess we'll find out.
This Jewish guy was accused of raping a little girl.
Oh, my God.
Which he did, by the way. His name was Leo Frank. Mm-hmm. And if you look into it, it's, if you look into the details, which we don't have to get too into it, he did do it. That's neither here nor there. But this group formed to say, we will not... The Jews thought that he was being victimized because he was Jewish.
Put it on the poll, Dev. Put it on the poll. Would you smash Pearl? Yes or no? Would you smash Pearl? Yes or no?
That he got...
Brent Sherman says, always discount liquor. Here we go. I want the funniest and most original ADL acronym. I want the funniest and most original ADL acronym. I want the funniest. The winner will get a free copy of the 49 Laws of Sharpe. Let's do it.
Blamed for being Jewish.
Oh, and so that organization was stopped.
Yeah, Kate L says, attack Pearl's views, not her personally. You already lost if you do otherwise. Yeah, exactly.
Was started to stop defamation.
The defamation of the Jewish people specifically.
Oh, and so they went after Adidas?
Yeah.
How would they go after Adidas?
So they wrote this letter and they said, you better cut this deal off with Ye, otherwise bad things are going to happen to you. And this group, I mean, they're highly influential. They're highly influential in the world because it's like, if you look at the people that donate to them, if you look at the people they're affiliated with, they're connected to very powerful Jewish people in finance and Hollywood and wherever. So
if they didn't listen, then they're gonna, like, they could lose a bank account or something that would really hurt the business.
Bad Wrench Entertainment says assholes don't look. Here we go.
Yeah, because ADL's super connected. Mm-hmm. So
trade the NBD, Ados Dem Lames. I don't know what that
like means. And we could go into like all kinds of examples, but they've got major pull. Like, you don't want to mess with them because...
Ryan Bark with the $20 super chat says, thank you for doing this live stream. Always appreciate your opinions. Thank you very much, Ryan. The pleasure is mine.
They are highly influential in the media. They're highly influential.
Spartan Existence says, wow, this poll is revealing all the simps. Guys, let me just quickly, the definition of a simp, okay, that's not Aaron Clary. All right, somebody ban Aaron Clary. Get him out of here, because that's not him. The definition of a simp is a man who gives an undeserving woman access to his time, energy, attention, and resources. That's it. Sex is sex, y'all. Just because you admit that you're sexually attracted to a woman does not mean you're simping. We got a lot of guys who are like black pill, meathead, red pill guys. Well, if you didn't do anything nice for a woman, you're simping. No. Just relax. Just relax. Just because you admit that someone is sexually attractive to you does not make you a simp. Get out of here.
In finance, in government, and
anybody who says that they listen. Now, Pearl is not my type. I wouldn't smash her. She's just not my type. I just don't like tall girls. But a lot of guys, the guys who are the loudest about not wanting to smash a girl, usually the people who really want to smash her.
So they go.
Half-Baked says, agoraphobics don't leave. That's a good one.
Adidas to say you got to shut down the account for what he's saying, and they did. And now Adidas is in big trouble. And so anyway...
Hoop Steady says, I would give Pearl the D all day long. I like it.
If you go out there and say something that's contrary to Israel or whatever, it's like these types of activist groups they'll put you on blast. They'll go in the media, smear you, say you're an anti-Semite. Like, the ADL is partnered with Google and Facebook. The reason why it says I'm a white supremacist is because when you Google my name...
Oh, Gunner, relax. Give me a break. Just because she's not your type doesn't mean she's not going to be other people's type. AA says, I would never wife Pearl. Okay. There are a lot of people who would never wife Pearl. Uh-oh. AG says, Abba's down low. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Will S says, I'd give Pearl a necklace.
ADL website will come up. Like, if you Google my name right now, ADL will be like the second hit.
Wow.
Wow.
Because you're partnered with Google.
Whoa.
So the whole idea is that there's people in power throughout Hollywood, throughout the tech industry, all of these big industries, finance, banking, whatever. And they're all Jewish, and they feel this sense of community because they're Jewish. Sorry. And basically, they, at the drop of a hat, if you go against anything...
I don't believe that that's really RP Thor, but he says Pearl belongs on the fart or the dog fart net.
Anyone that's Jewish
Shatter King ain't doing laundry. Love it.
will cancel them immediately.
Yeah.
And you could see that because that happened to Kanye and that happened to you as well.
Yeah,
Yay.
basically.
I mean, you got on the no-fly list, so I'd imagine.
yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Gunnar Lindblom says he's Mexican. Yeah, his last name is Fuentes. Yeah. Okay, whatever.
So you had this disagreement with Turning Point.
Daily Wire.
Oh, I thought it was both. No.
Turning Point came later.
Oh, okay. So what happened then? So you said to the Daily Wire, this is a disagreement, and then what happened?
Yeah, so, the first interaction I had with Ben Shapiro was in December 2016, and I put out this tweet. This was the tweet. I said, I'm America first. If you're China first...
It appears that our good friend Tony Johnson is in the chat. Our good friend Tony Johnson is in the chat. And it's funny because Tony Johnson is who now runs a failed event he likes to call the 21 convention. He's pretending. See, so what Tony is doing is he's basically opening a store. He works at a store that's been closed for like a decade. Like he's pretending that his store has gone out of business. That's what he does, and he likes to make fake accounts and come in here and troll people. Tony, if you're gonna be a proper troll, you have to change your how can I put this? You have to change your vernacular. You have to change your vernacular a little bit. Like, it's obvious it's you. Like, it's obvious it's you, dude. Like, come on. Smarten up. Real Bravado Network with the $20 super chat. Says, I would smash Pearl while reading Malcolm's autobiography tour. Okay. The Clue Channel, $5 super chat, says, Anti-Dick League. That would be a good one.
You should live in China. If you're Mexico first, you should live in Mexico. I said, if you're Israel first, you should live in Israel. Which, again, maybe you disagree with the sentiment, but it's consistent. It's like if you believe in America first, obviously if you have allegiance to some other country, there's like a fundamental contradiction. Ben Shapiro quote tweeted that and said, the surest sign of anti-Semitism is to accuse a Jewish person. Yeah.
Linda Jackson says you would need a ladder and a bucket to put over her head first. Okay, so Linda Jackson is a black woman. Welcome.
He called you an Ben?
Yeah.
I love Ben Shapiro. Ben!
Yeah.
Why would...
Luke Red Pill Perry says the president has been kicked out of here twice. Make that 3 times, because that is not Aaron Cook. Devin got him first. Tony, bruh, like Tony. Come on, man. If you're gonna troll, you gotta be original, bruh.
You do that? That's
like it's obvious it's you, dude. Come
like
on.
a feminist, that's the same argument the feminists use.
I know.
That's the same, because the feminists will be like, that's what they say to me, that I hate women. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. And so for you, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an argument a woman would use.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so now Ben is beefing with you.
Yeah. So
How old were you when that happened?
I was 18. I'm like, dude, chill.
Ben Shapiro's beefing with this 18-year-old.
Yeah, like 10,000 followers on Twitter.
That's what he does, though. He dunks on college kids.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that was his brand. I miss it. I kind of miss him on the college campuses, just dunking on these guys.
The circuit. Yeah, I mean, hey, he's good.
Da Vinci says these dudes need to stop capping. They know they would date and smash Pearl. I think a lot of people would. More people would. It's interesting when someone is not your type. You just you don't go around telling people. You don't go around talking about girls you wouldn't smash, right? No, you don't. No. You don't talk about girls you honestly would not smash. You would never, like, if they're like, no one has to tell anybody that. How can I put this? Let me think of a right. No one has to say. How can I put this? No one has to say I would never smash Lizzo. We know. We trust me. We know. Like, we don't. No. Trust me, we know. But the people who, oh my God, I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. I remember Tony Johnson, after he did the hit piece on me the first time, he put out something in his mail list that says, Devin is pissed and wants to fuck me now. Oh, he forgot about that part, didn't he? Yeah, he forgot about that part, didn't he? Why would you say that a fatty that you're clearly not attracted to wants to bang you? Just putting it out there.
At it. He is good at what he does.
Neon X Runner with the 550 something says, would Pearl do just for her to become my personal entrepreneur, Ram Thrumby BBC long-legged girl? Okay. All right. D-Train Fitness with the $50 super chat says, do you have certain words blocked? I can't super chat my real message. There are certain words I do have blocked. Yes, I do apologize, but I do appreciate the support. Create the Imaginable says, how tall is Pearl? She is 5 feet 11 inches tall.
I'll give him his
Would
due.
he ever debate you?
No.
Oh my gosh, Ben asked it.
Okay.
Ben, open invite, Ben. Come on the couch.
Do you see? See, Pearl seizes the moment. Okay? She says, oh, two polarizing figures who don't like each other. Let's have them on the show. Yeah, that totally makes her racist.
I do it. Yeah, absolutely. But he...
But Ben won't do it.
No.
What about Charlie Kirk? Would he do it?
No, he wouldn't. I mean, I debate him too. But
okay, so let me get this straight. So first... I'm sorry, I feel like I'm kind of slow because I have to break all this down because I just don't know the ins and outs of this stuff. I feel like I'm getting educated on like a decade of conservative media drama.
Yeah,
that
basically.
that wasn't really. I just watched the highlights, Ben Shapiro destroys. Okay, so now you're 18 and you're beefing with Ben Shapiro. He's tweeting at you. Then what happens?
Yeah, so I was still in touch with all those guys that worked at Daily Wire, and but it started to get kind of contentious because we would go places like I went to the Christmas party, West Massachusetts
Spartan Experience says Pearl is constantly flashing box. That's funny. You should notice that.
Like, hey, like, why do we send? Because we're all political. This is a stuff.
All right, so let me. Okay, so far. All right, so 63% of you, looks like 63% of you said you would smash, and 37% say you wouldn't. That sounds about right. Oops.
I can't believe they're using the feminist language.
Yeah.
That's what the feminists would do.
That's what they jump to. If you ask a question, you're an anti-Semite. And so I just wouldn't stop. I just kept pushing and pushing, and this was the text. And me and her were like good friends and everything, and she had this big affinity for me. I literally have a text that she sent to Shapiro that she had sent to me where she said, God, you got to take this guy under your wing.
This is unbelievable. You know what? All the stuff that he is talking, it's so funny. What I'm learning here is that in every circle, it's kind of the same thing. It's the same thing on the liberal side, conservatives, the manosphere, feminists. It's all the same. Shemak says, grow up, Donovan. No.
Blah, blah. never talked to me again. The whole crew blocked me on Twitter, stopped talking to me. And then I got a call from my boss at RSBN a week later, this guy, Joe Seals, and he says, Cassie has been calling me every day for the last 2 weeks, saying that I need to fire you because you're racist and you're an anti-Semite. So not only does she cut off the friendship and blacklist me, but then she starts calling my boss.
She Karen'd you, huh?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Was she white?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
we
course
are
she
the best
was.
Karens.
Yeah, we are.
We do Karen it better than anyone else.
That's true, yeah.
See, there it is. Pearl's being self-aware. She's like, hey, we're Karens, man.
Kind of like pro-Karen.
Karens are needed. I'm not saying
Yeah.
sometimes we're in the wrong, but I honestly think like Karens are the ones that do the shit that no one else wants to do. Now, you might have been on the negative
Oh my
end of the
God.
Karen stick, right?
That's how
but they
I know.
all probably wanted you fired or wanted you blacklisted, right? Karen's just the one that did it.
Yeah, that's
Karen's-
right.
So, from my point of view, if the guy next door is having this loud party and I'm the one that goes and complains, everyone wanted it to stop.
That's right.
I'm pro Karen.
I am too. They're upholding the standards in society. We have no standards, but like women are the ones that are like, he didn't take our order yet. I'm going to say something, you know? So it's like you need, like my mom, classic. She's Italian, so she's not like a Karen like these white ladies, but she'll like, you know, she'll say something. She'll get
Let me
nasty.
call the manager. Let me talk to your manager.
Sometimes a manager needs to be called. That's all
I
I'm
will
saying.
call it. I am not I will Karen. I will.
I'm here for it.
If I've been waiting for my check for 45 minutes, I'm talking to somebody.
Yeah, someone's
I'm
going to
talking
hear
to.
it.
Marcus Lost Great says Pearl is going to age like milk. Yes. Women age like milk.
That was a bad instance.
It's not good when you're on the other side, right?
No, yeah, that was wrong. That was a bad, too much Karening there. Yeah, and then, so then she, there's this, the first
Easy Band said, someone said, what's a pog? A pog is a fat-ass white girl.
piece where I said something on my show, and I was talking about ISIS, because ISIS was really big at that time. And I said, you know, look, we can't bring over people who want to kill us. I said so. And the defense is always, well, the First Amendment, you can't impose a Muslim ban or something like that because of the First Amendment protects religious liberty. I said that's fine and well. I said, and you know, you have Muslims, and then you have what are called Salafists or Wahhabists.
Captain Ginyu, I have no idea what a dumper is, but she's got over 1 million subscribers, and in 6 months, she'll probably be set financially for life.
And they're the ones that believe the most radical things. So I said, it's fine and well to have a First Amendment, but you can't bring people over here that want to kill us. Like the Founding Fathers didn't pass the First Amendment so we could bring over people that believe in the ideology of ISIS. It was actually put in place to protect various kinds of Christians. So Media Matters, Cassie Dillon sends this to Media Matters.
Yeah, I agree, Denzel. Pearl is not a pog. Pearl's not a pog. I mean, listen, Pearl is attractive in her own way. She's just not my type.
But anyway, that was the first hit piece. And so
I like short blonde girls with flat stomachs and huge tits. That's me.
I didn't really get attacked from the conservative side until a few years later.
Oh, that was a left-wing organization, media. Oh, so why was she, if she was a conservative, why does she know the left-wing people?
It's a great question. What you'll find is that the conservative...
The Fray says, Pearl gets along with racists. Weird. Seems like the shoe fits. Oh, my God. You got to come up with something better than that. Jesus. God almighty.
No problem working
Swear
with
to God.
ADL, SPLC, Media Matters if it's to screw over a guy like me.
Oh. And that's because you're against the Jewish people, you think?
Well, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it like that.
Like against the, I don't know, Israel? I don't know how you
Yeah,
say it.
yeah, like this Jewish mafia thing that's going on.
Okay, so then where did your beef come from? So that was the Daily Wire. Now you also have beef with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah,
You seem to be the common denominator here. I'm not going to lie to you.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, there have been racist interviews. There have been racists interviewed by tons of people, and those people are not racist. Get out of here. Come on.
But you know, you could be the judge. I mean, I guess there's two sides to every story.
I'm listening, you know?
So.
Look at I'll have the beef.
P. Schmitty Says, seen plenty of guys who said, I wouldn't smash said woman, but as soon as they get the opportunity, their action proves otherwise. Yep.
Bonnet.
I don't think so.
Oh.
But I wish they would.
Create the Imaginable says, the video is not pausing when you comment, Donovan. Please stop pausing. We may never see the controversial video again. I don't... The reason I'm not pausing the video is because I don't know anything about what they're talking about. When it gets to the juicier parts, that's when I'll pause it.
Just drop it.
I'm just doing this so we're not here for 11 hours.
That's what I was doing with these guys at Daily Wire, because I kept telling them, like, tell me how I'm wrong. Like, I don't, going down this path, I understand there's all these connotations when you talk about Jewish people or whatever. I was like, I understand it sounds fringe and radical. I said, but, like, tell me how it's wrong.
But Charlie Kirk, he's not Jewish, so why would... But he's affiliated with the Jewish mafia?
Yeah,
I'm putting it in quotes because I feel like I can't definitively.
Right, yeah, which is fair, yeah. So, a couple of years later, this is in 2019, this is actually how it started. I think it was September 2019, I went to this event, and there was this girl there named, who she was actually Jewish. Her name was Ashley St. Clair.
Okay.
And we took a photo together at a party. She didn't even go to the event. We just wound up at this after party.
All right, I'll pause and not mute. I mean, I just don't want to sound stupid because I just don't, I'm not,
Turning Point fired her for being in the picture with me.
Really?
God
Literally for
damn.
being in the picture.
Wow. They're that against you?
Yeah.
And it's all because of your there's nothing, because if we end this interview...
Well, again, he says that the Holocaust never happened, and he's a racist. Listen, freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences. It is what it is.
And then I get these messages that are like, he didn't talk about this, and is there more? Is there more to the story? Or is it just your Israel takes?
Well, it's my takes on. I mean, I'm not going to hide the fact that I'm like an extremist,
right?
And I've said some controversial things.
There you go.
But that really is the crux of it, because after the Daily Wire thing, and Charlottesville made me radioactive for a long time.
God damn,
would you say it helped or hurt your career? Because in a way, all publicity is good publicity, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Would you say it helped or hurt?
It's debatable, because, and people have started to say this about me recently. They say, oh, well, you're doing a fine job. And it's like, well, I've really done a good job in spite of those things. Mm-hmm. Because, as you can attest, being banned on YouTube, doesn't help your career.
No.
No, it does not.
Definitely
Dear God,
hurts.
don't. Please let me keep my channel.
Yeah.
Casey James says, you don't sound stupid. You're just not informed on most of the Donovan. You're good. Yeah, I know. I'm not a political guy, man. I followed politics very closely back in the early 2000s, and it just made me crazy. It made me angry all the time, so I stopped watching it.
Susan. Oh, wait, it's not Susan anymore.
Yeah, no, new person.
Whoever the new appointed CEO, please keep this up, please.
It's an Indian guy, I think, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Just put some pro-India stuff in
Yeah.
there.
Hey, I like India.
Here we go.
All day. We like T-Series, yeah. But, so, I'm a controversial guy and all of that, but it has definitely hurt. I mean, I'm banned from PayPal. I'm banned from credit card processors.
Wow.
Damn.
And that was all after Charlottesville?
That stuff came a little bit later.
Okay.
I got banned on PayPal in 2018 or 19.
Okay, so let's...
A servant in Babylon says, when he does get around to saying hateful things about other races, where does he go around to saying other hateful things about racists? He talks about the same things that Donovan talked about in Atlanta, which is why my opening monologue was what it was.
So 18, you're beefing with Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro, right?
2019.
Oh,
I'm beefing with Charlie
no,
Kirk.
I'm saying you were 18.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And so then what happened next?
So this girl gets fired for being in a picture with me, and we kind of make a big stink about it, and it died down for a little while, and then Charlie Kirk went on tour, and it started in Colorado, and some people that watch my show, some followers of mine, unbeknownst to me, they went to his event, and they started asking him these very pointed questions about his views.
Here we go.
And so one of the questions was about immigration, and this was it was similar but different to the Daily Wire thing. the main issues about and I'm about to explain all this. The main issues that I had with Charlie Kirk were three things. So he goes out and he's like, to his credit, Turning Point is a wildly successful group. They bring in $40-50 million a year. They're on hundreds of campuses.
Jesus.
They do these big conferences. Like, they're very good at what they do. I'll grant them that. But at that time, with all that influence and all that money and power, they really weren't very conservative. And these were the three issues we had with them. Number one, they were very pro-gay.
Big Chief says, damn, Donovan gets more of his audience likes than other live streamers. Yeah, that's because I put you guys in the ADL, the Anaconda Deathlock.
At the time, which is not like a conservative value. So they were out there saying, like, they had one of their influencers, his name was Rob Smith, and he was going around. What's that?
I said, I know him.
Oh, you know him? Yeah.
Not person. I know who that is.
Okay, yeah. And so he's very flamboyant.
Shamak, there is no such thing as the Black Manosphere. The Black Manosphere is a fucking joke. The Black Manosphere is Nigatube. That's all it is. Sorry.
And he would go on stage and say, I'm America's favorite gay black veteran. Okay.
Wow.
But we don't really support that. That's not actually a Christian thing. It's, it's not a Catholic thing. So they were very pro-gay and like pro-feminism and very pro all these like liberal.
Yeah, because they used to say first wave feminism was good.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Yorty Stream says, always doing ladies. I like that.
That's not a conservative value. Because to me, feminism is and always has been a hate group.
100%.
Yeah, but to them, and that's why.
So the Fray apparently thinks that Pearl is racist. Okay, there's another emotional ass Negro in the chat.
I didn't always think that until you started researching like the early suffragettes. Am I saying that right? Yeah. And when I realized that's what we talked about, the right to vote. The reason.
Thelonious says, why did Donovan drop Offie Kingdom? I thought they were allies. I have never dropped Offie Kingdom. My relationship with him is as strong as it's ever been. I've never had beef. I have never had beef with Offie Kingdom.
There was anti-suffragettes was because they were trying to destroy the family, and before it was like one vote for the family and you trusted like that makes more sense.
Totally.
But then that was sort of the beginning of the destruction of the family. So it really was one movement.
Yeah, right.
From my point of view anyway.
And I absolutely agree with you. I think you're one of the few, you get it more than most conservatives actually.
Yeah, and well, it was because I started researching because I couldn't figure out why wouldn't you want to vote?
Right.
Because someone said the majority of women didn't want it. And then when I found out you had to be drafted in order to vote, I would give that shit up so fast.
Yeah.
And so I asked a panel of women, and I said, if you had to be drafted, would you give up the right?
Shimak says, keep being obsessed with race woke weenies. I like that, woke weenies. You woke weenies. I like that, like real shit.
To vote. And they all said, yeah, they would give it up.
Yeah.
They'd learned so many recipes.
Yeah. Having a good time at home, hanging out.
Okay, so pro-gay, pro-feminism, and what else was the third one?
So those are like one thing, because that's just like social issues. Like they're very.
The Fray said, she said, black people embellish slavery. Is that not racist? If you don't think so, I see why you're dating a white girl. Ah, there we go. There we go. The ignorant ass Negro coming in with the sign language. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Joe Rogan said the word nigger. Do you think he's a racist?
Liberal on social issues. The other thing is they were in favor of legal immigration. Charlie Kirk was going around, and this was his line. He said that we should staple green cards to diplomas.
No, I did not beef with CGA. Jesus Christ, oh my God, what are we doing?
In other words,
this is why I don't. This is why I stay in my lane and I just do my thing, because people just put anything out there.
Every foreign student that comes to America, he said he wanted to bring them in as an immigrant.
Okay.
And he said we could bring in 50 million immigrants in 10 years.
And you're not pro-immigration?
No. And that's not a conservative position.
Thelonious says, I would bet my bottom dollar that Pearl smells like beef and cheese. And you would lose that bet because she does not.
Especially not 50 million people in 10 years.
Right.
Because America's got 300 million. So, what is that? 1/6 of the population in 10 years.
And so why is that?
Why does he support that?
No, why are you against pro? Because in my head, see, I hire people from Africa, right?
Right.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting into the meat of things. Here we go. Here we go.
And I just see like the work ethic of people that are like not from America, and they often work harder than the people that are from America.
So there was one content creator, I forget who it was. I think it might have been Obsidian. I think it might have been Obsidian. I think it might have been Obsidian. Who it might not have been. Don't quote me on this. But people have a problem. People have a problem with Pearl. People have a problem with what she just said. Pearl just said people from other countries, black people specifically from other countries, tend to work harder than black Americans. And they had a problem with that. Did she lie, though? Did she lie? Listen, let's keep it real. Niggas in America are lazy. They're lazy, y'all. Niggas in America don't work as hard on average as black people from Africa. Do you think that if Pearl, do you think that Pearl would be where she is right now? Do you think Pearl would be where she is right now if she hired black people in America? Oh, hell no. Real shit. Real shit. It's the truth. It's the truth. Y'all, listen, man, y'all can be upset that she said it, but it's true. Niggas are lazy. Black men are on time. Black men work hard. Niggas are lazy. I said it. Fuck out of here.
So in my head, it's like, wouldn't it help us economically if we had more, like, if they had a certain, like, mindset in order to come here?
There is a lot of truth to that. And I'll agree with you there. Particularly like Hispanics in America, very hard. The Africans too. I mean, because
Nigerian Americans I'm pretty sure they out earn white Americans.
They do. Their median income, this is old statistics,
Indian,
but it's like $80,000 a year.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that. Holy smokes.
Iranians, all those immigrant groups, they're very productive. And
it would make my job easier too. Like, because I'm thinking of me, so I'm a woman, a selfish perspective.
Yes.
Like, if immigration would be easier, it'd be easier
And like I said, how many of them niggas over at NiggaTube doing nigga shit have hired black people? This white woman is doing better than all of them using black people. But they're mad that she told the truth about black people here in America? Yeah, okay.
Get some of my employees from England to the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah, and, and there's economic arguments, and we could go there for a minute. I agree with you. They're very hardworking. The thing is about immigration, though, the only way to view it is that it benefits two groups economically, and that is the immigrants themselves, because it's of course their ascendant. They're, moving from Nicaragua to America, like you're moving up in the world. It's also the firm owners, the capitalists, the people that own.
Jihad Bell says, she said Africans are better than Americans. I don't know what y'all heard, SMH. Well, what I heard is that she said that black people from Africa tend to work harder than black people. I don't even know if she said black people. She said they tend to work harder than Americans. That's true. Black people, dude, listen, black people, non-Western black men work harder than all races of men here in America. Most notably, black men. Fuck out of here.
The businesses, of course, what is the business's biggest cost? It's labor.
Yeah, she said Americans. Right, exactly. But of course, NiggaTube said, she said, Africans work harder than black men. She didn't say it, so I will. Africans work harder than niggas in America. There, I said it.
And so a Nicaraguan or a Honduran or whatever will take less money, cheaper wages than an American.
Yeah, Scout Bradley says she didn't say black American. She said American, exactly. See, even I almost got sucked into it.
Because a cheap wage in America is a higher wage than
hit dogs holler, man.
Whatever they're earning in Central America or Asia. So the immigrant benefits because they make more money, and the firm owner benefits because they get to lower their labor cost.
Not only that, they have a labor force that actually does their job.
The loser in that equation is the American worker, because there's a competition for jobs. There's a labor market, and in the same way, that a consumer makes a decision about where to buy something from.
Rumothy says she could have said that and it'd still be the truth. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Even if she did say black Americans, did she lie? I mean, I'm looking for... Uh-oh. I'm looking for the lie. I don't see it.
Employers have to compete for labor.
But wouldn't you say when you do that, there's less innovation overall as a country? Like, I'm thinking like a business content team. Like, one of the ways we've grown so fast is because my content team can push out so much content because I hire people from Nigeria. And with the extra money we have to do...
Hang on, guys. Hang on. All right, we're back.
I can invest in like a second part of the business. Like, we're looking at managing YouTube channels for like big marketing companies. So then it's like a whole sector of the business is coming from the profit we made from one. Does that make sense? Overall, it's like we have...
Do you guys hear? Hang on. Just give me a second.
Bigger media.
Do you guys hear this business plan she just offered up? Do you guys hear this? See, people think that Pearl is this overnight success. No, man. No. There are many, many factors that have aided Pearl in her success. Many, many factors. And a lot of people don't know this because she doesn't really talk about it that much. But every once in a while, I'll catch these little tidbits. When she was a 10th grader, she started calling up CEOs of Fortune 500 companies to get them to mentor her on, getting ahead or something in the business world. I don't know what that is. I forget what it was exactly. But as a 10th grader, she's cold calling companies, right? She reaches out like her producer. She reached out and paid for like a couple of hours of his time to learn, social media. She did that. Neil McCoy says Pearl was born with a silver spoon. Yeah. So? And? Right? So? Yeah, her dad's a billionaire. And? Double A says the most important factor is buying subs. Yeah, totally.
Company, and like in the end, I probably will hire more.
Yantique Shantae says the phrase never should have been said. Nope. Sorry. She should have said it. Sorry. Nope. Just because you don't think Yantique she shouldn't have said it doesn't mean she shouldn't have said it. Fuck out of here. I don't care. She can say whatever she wants. Look, man, freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences. It's the same with Pearl. It's the same with Pearl. She said a couple of really, really dumb things, but it is what it is. Oh, here goes Neil McCoy. Says, born on third base, bro. I'm sorry, does dad own YouTube? You know what I mean? Like, again, like guys like Neil McCoy, look, hey, guess what? Pearl is privileged. She's privileged, guys. Deal with it. Life's not fair. Deal with it. Pearl was born into a rich family, had a mom and dad. She was raised by nannies and all that other stuff. She was raised by nannies and she's had all the advantages. She's a trust fund kid. She will get a trust fund at some point. She'll get a trust fund at some point. And so? Look, man, there are people who are born into privilege who become successful because of their hard work and merit. Was she aided? I mean, is she aided by her privileged background? Absolutely. But her dad is not out here recruiting people. Daddy's not out here, Daddy's not out here taking all these slings and arrows. Right? Her dad doesn't own YouTube. I don't care.
For Americans, because there are different types of jobs.
God damn it.
That people from Nigeria.
Sorry, guys. It's time to buy a new Roadcaster. Shaman says, y'all are emotional as fuck. Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ, y'all. Okay. Okay, so she was privileged. Sue her. There are a lot of dude, most people who are born from privileged backgrounds don't have the work ethic that Pearl does. Just because you're privileged doesn't mean you don't possess work ethic. Right? Come on, get out of here.
Would do versus an American.
Yeah, there's an argument there about economic growth.
I'm not like I don't know all the stats and stuff when it comes
dude.
to. I'm just thinking like in my life as an American, that would make my life easier.
No, and that's actually a very cogent point.
And then it's like because then it's like the countries that do allow immigration, wouldn't they have an advantage over us where they could outcompete us in the long run?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is,
A Scout and a Bradley, $2 super chat says 90% of wealth is lost by the second generation. That's correct.
there's no question that bringing in immigrants grows the economy. Like, that's not even a question. It grows the GDP. Of course it does. The question is, though, for the people that are graduating college now in America, they're having to compete with, and it's impossible, having to compete with people that are brought over on an H-1B visa. And that's why I don't consider myself like a libertarian or like a...
Jesus Christ, man. Like, listen, say whatever you want about Nick Fuentes. This dude knows his stuff, man. Like, Jesus, like all of these terms, he's making me feel stupid here.
capitalist, because while I do recognize just on a...
AG says it's just not as respected. Her accomplishments I'm talking about. Okay. If you don't respect her accomplishments, fine. But over 1.25 million people do, and they have subscribed to her. Listen, the market has spoken. The market has spoken. If you provide good, if you make good content, people will watch. People will watch. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Mechanical basis, like that is how things work. You're right. It grows the economy. What's happening now is that so many immigrants are pouring
The phrase says, I want to hear how Donovan responds to her insulting comment about slavery. You will.
over both low-skill and high-skill immigrants that American workers are struggling to get jobs and are actually, the college-educated Americans are underemployed. And so from the perspective
but it's also because it's mostly women graduating and they're getting these bullshit-ass degrees.
I agree with that,
like,
yeah.
it's... You,
Steven says, why don't y'all start your own YouTube channels? Dude, 90% of people in here have probably tried to start YouTube channels, but they figured out it's not easy.
want me to feel bad because you can't get a job after you got a gender studies degree.
Well, but even STEM majors, are underemployed. People with like, I know a guy from UCLA who has an engineering degree. That's a great school. That's a great degree. He's struggling to find a job. And there's a lot of people like this. And so we're putting young people in this situation where, you can't support a family on a single income.
Winky Wright says, why does Donovan submit to Pearl? I don't. She is a very good friend of mine.
Come with a high school diploma as an American.
A Servant says, I got my own YouTube and BitChute. All right, awesome. I'm happy for you.
So you have to go to college to get an advanced degree. Well, college is super, super expensive, so you have to go into debt. Graduate from college, even with a good degree. Then
couldn't you go to a community college and would you still say?
Again, there's ways that you can do it that's more economical, but the reality is for a lot of students, they are going into debt. It's not everybody, but they do it. And then they come out of college with an advanced degree, and they're competing with people from India. And Charlie Kirk is saying, we're going to staple a green card to your diploma and let you live here. And, and that's just not really fair to all and I agree with you, there's a lot of inefficiencies in the economy, but sometimes you have to do right by your people. Like with Social Security, it's the same thing.
I can understand
you know what I mean?
that,
Because 10 years
Chris Rice says, people don't want to relocate to advance in your career. Exactly.
ago, when I was like a big libertarian when I was in high school, I'm saying all the same thing you are, like bring in as many immigrants, and that is the turning point.
See that? You see that? He was a libertarian in high school, but he figured out that, wait, most people are libertarians. Let me switch to the other side. Ken Rose, $5, says, seriously, poverty alone doesn't build character. Neither does privilege. Look, man, if you're jealous of the fact that she was that she was born into a great family, then just say that. I mean, dude, people want to act like it's a problem that it's just not respected. I mean, if that's what you want to call it, fine. Whatever helps you sleep at night.
I'd say as many as possible.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. But yeah,
I didn't say let's staple it to the college diploma.
yeah. That's just
it's just
point.
I've heard though that sometimes what happens to country, because I used to read Sowell, Thomas Sowell a bit, and he would talk about how oftentimes like they'll take out an immigrant population in a country.
Phil Rockwell says the other black hit peacemakers were too scared to let Nick know how smart he is. Well, that's because niggas over there at Nigatube, they don't respect intelligence. They just don't. It is what it is.
And that industry will just fall apart. Like there aren't really the replacement in those countries.
Soralita Bass says, LOL, Donovan, that's not what he said. I don't know what you're talking about.
For those jobs.
Yeah, I think he talks about Southeast Africa, the Indians that were brought in by the English.
I thought he talked about a Jewish population when the book, but I read this a couple of years ago, so I don't really remember.
Yeah.
But I remember that concept, and it made sense to me because, and it's kind of like nowadays everything's going digital. There's so many jobs where 10 years ago, you'd have to have an American editor, where now I can get one from Nigeria.
Right.
Like, how would you combat that?
Here we go.
Well, I mean, to some extent, you can't.
Right.
Because it is a global economy. The communication and transportation technology.
Yeah, True Grit says, niggas will fight you for telling them the truth. Don't I know it?
Is creating this integration that has just never happened before. So that is a big part of it. But there are still a lot of...
Create the Imaginable says, bring the smoke. You must be an Obsidian fan.
Jobs that just have to be in America. And you'd be a little bit surprised. Like, when you're a content creator, that's one thing because it's a media business, which, and I'm in a media business too, but it is like a fake business in the sense. I don't mean to downplay
That's okay.
Your business acumen, but I mean, it's like, it's not like you're actually making a product that someone's going to consume.
Yeah, and what that's interesting that Nick talks about that. I took it's interesting in an economy class that I took back in community college when I was in paralegal school, is that I forgot what the percentage was, but I think it's probably higher now, but 66% of businesses are services, right? So you have goods and services. Goods are tangible things that you sell to the public, manufactured. Services are things you do for people. Oil changes, notary, content creator.
I'm saying,
Correct, yeah.
And when you look at businesses, people would be surprised. There's a great book about this by Ian Fletcher. He talks about how people would be surprised how little the economy is globalized.
Scout Bradley said, Obsidian defended you last night? Are you talking about me? Obsidian defended me?
Like, how many businesses exclusively do business in their own country because of how prohibitively complex and expensive it is to truly do business in another country, to truly outsource. And so the point is,
we have 1,128 people watching, 1,138 likes. Yes! 100% plus engagement. Love it.
We want to protect American jobs. We want to protect American workers. There's a real problem in America where the cost of living is exploding and wages are stagnating. And, I used to be one of these guys that was...
Damn, did he really? Huh. All right.
Like...
I might... all right, so a servant in Babylon says, I don't think it was him. All right. Well, what I'll do is I'll go over to the video and I'll pull up the transcript and just do a search for my name, see what happens.
Well, I want to debunk that, or I don't care about that. But it is true. When you look at how much people could make with a high school diploma back 50 years ago relative to the cost of living, it's more than it is now. Just strictly looking at the same numbers. And a big part of that is because there are just simply more workers.
Isn't one way they inflate that, though? Because I remember Sowell talking about this, and he said the problem is they increase the cost of, in the stats, they'll increase the...
Joker, $10 super chat says, Tommy Sotomayor says Pearl should have never apologized and said he'd love to have Nick Fuentes on his show someday. I can see why Kanye still keeps this kid around. He's well-read and not afraid. Listen, man, I mean, I wouldn't have a beer with the guy because I'm not really I don't really run with racists like that. But, listen, say what you want about him. He's really smart. Number one. Number two, yeah, I told Pearl. She asked me all week long, should I acknowledge it? Should I apologize? I said, Pearl, don't do it. I said, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Now, she addressed it on her channel yesterday, and Devin and I actually watched it while we were on the tarmac getting ready to take off to come back here. Yeah, I told you. I mean, I told her it doesn't matter what you do. It does not matter what you do or say. All they're gonna do is just, all they're gonna do is how can I put this? All they're going to do is just try to find other reasons to disqualify you and your success.
Cost of living, even though like 50 years ago, someone on like lower income wouldn't have air conditioning or a TV, but now they're included in lower income.
Yeah.
AG says, Fresh and Fit is an example of what building an original podcast looks like. Sure, they were influenced by some, but they created a brand. Pearl saw a gap to exploit it and hopped on, not respected. AG, dude, come on. Like... You guys think Fresh and Fit was the first podcast to have people on talking about relationships, guys? And I pointed this out in another video that I did. AG says not respected. That's fine. You can pretend not to respect it, but dude, Pearl didn't steal anybody's style. Nobody owns a style. Pearl saw the formula that was working. She saw the formula that was working, and so she copied the formula. Emeril Lagasse was the first real celebrity chef, but now we have celebrity chefs all over the place. Does Emeril say, Gordon Ramsay stole my style? Wolfgang Puck. Does Wolfgang Puck say, Gordon? No. They see what works and they do it. She didn't exploit anything. She recognized a niche, and she took advantage of the niche. Jesus, dude, you haters are something, man.
When they have those stats, I thought they kind of misconstrue those.
There are many ways to
I know they're
manipulate.
going to say I'm so out of touch. I am. I'm sorry.
No. You're actually, you're pretty smart. Because you said when we were talking, you're like, oh, I'm not really that political, but you're pretty with it.
Oh, never mind. I stand corrected. Nick Fuentes is calling Pearl out. Nick Fuentes is calling Pearl out on her playing dumb. Okay.
No, I mean I am. I'm talking about the foreign policy stuff and
sure,
the Jewish stuff.
You're business savvy.
I'm more like
she's
the
very business
internal stuff.
Sure.
Like I just look at how things, go in my day-to-day life, and even my dad would talk about like. His parents lived off of one salary. Mm-hmm. His dad was a fireman and he did HVAC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, seriously. Like, dude, ABC is not suing Fox because they had or NBC is not suing Fox because they copied that. Remember ER? That was the first, I think, major hospital medical drama. Well, when ER worked, everybody, dude, Dr. House, there's, oh my God, Chicago Med. I mean, guys, nobody accuses anybody of stealing when they essentially copy a formula. That's it.
But they also had a lower, cost of, standard of living.
Right.
Yeah, and so a lot of times they'll say, oh, you can't afford it with these wages. But I talked to a lady in, because I always talk to the women, I say, would you go down in lifestyle for a family?
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to this woman that's in Florida, and she raised 10 kids on less than $10,000 a year.
Wow.
Whoa.
And oftentimes, it's that Americans want, especially women, we want a certain lifestyle that we can't afford. And a lot of Americans, are on lifestyles that they can't afford. It's I found...
Yeah, Jay Bird third. Yes, A St. Elsewhere came before ER, but they were very different. No, but either way, that's,
Oh, you could. They're gonna say I'm so out of touch. I am. I'm sorry. We did 2 weeks of groceries on 40 pounds, and I was like, "There's no way you could do that."
True Grit says exactly. CSI, FBI television shows, guys. Again, yeah, Grey's Anatomy, right? That's all this is. And guess what? There will be other studio shows that will pop up just like it. But the only thing, oh wait a minute, oh, never mind. I thought the Matrix got me. All right, let's go.
You can actually, and what else do you need in terms of
Excellent says, Donovan, don't you see what's wrong with Pearl? She's a woman who's the biggest creator in a men's space. What does she know about the struggle of being a man? Pearl has never purported to identify with the struggle of men. What Pearl does is she has conversations with men and women about relationships. Knowing the struggle of men does not disqualify her from being in a man's space. If you don't like her, don't watch her. But listen, you guys can say all you want. Pearl doesn't need y'all's approval to do what she does. I mean, dude, she doesn't need y'all's approval. Y'all can say, well, we don't respect it. Fine. But guess what? She's laughing all the way to the bank, fam. She's laughing all the way to the bank. All these ain't shit niggas out here struggle streaming, mad as hell that they got passed up by a white girl using the very people they pretend to love and go to bat for. Pearl is kicking y'all's ass with your team. What Pearl is essentially doing is they both show up with a basketball team. Pearl says, you know what? I'm such a good coach. I'm going to coach your team and beat my team with your team. That's what she's doing, and y'all niggas can't stand it. Stay mad. Stay pressed. Her subs will keep going up. Morel for All with the $10 super chat says, just because you replicate the style doesn't mean you replicate the flavor. Take the Whatever podcast as a case in point. Pearl is successful because she has talent. The same for DS, Fresh and Fit, and more. That's right. Pearl is very talented. She's extremely smart. She paid money to learn YouTube. She paid money to learn social media. Come on, man. Amari Brown says, I never watch her channel. Well, she doesn't need you. She doesn't. All you haters, she doesn't need you guys. She don't need, dude, all you guys that hate on her, she doesn't need you. God, give me a break.
Gosh, this is what you're going to say. I'm out of touch. I am. But, like, one thing that I've heard is that they do inflate those numbers. Mm-hmm. And is that not true?
It is true.
Okay.
You're right about that. And, well, and it's I wouldn't say it's necessarily inflated, but it doesn't take into account, like you said, the quality of life changes, because that is big, like, you know, having a flat screen and those kinds of things. There's all kinds of ways.
And cell phones.
Cell phones, yeah.
You're on government
phone.
Benefits, but you have an iPhone.
Right.
You couldn't even get an Android?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, or Cricket Wireless or whatever. Yeah. And
Neil McCoy says she needs a damn husband. Now that I agree with.
Joel is very good on that. But it is true that
Baby Boy Sosa says, why are you hating on her? Because they're jealous. Why does anybody hate on anybody?
The education has gotten more expensive in absolute and relative terms. Education, the price tag is bigger than it was 50 years ago.
But they subsidized it. That's why.
And relative to income back in those days. But it's also true that now everybody needs a college degree to get a solid job.
Really? I didn't learn shit in college.
No.
Yeah, but
he's wrong about that.
I know you don't learn anything, but it's about accreditation. You get the diploma.
Really? I don't know. Because
Cry More Bro says, chill on the Android slander, Pearl. I don't know. I'm kind of an Android hater myself.
I feel like when I was in college, before I even had a degree.
Then why hate on Danica? Because Danica is a thought pretending to be a wife who's basically the female Kevin Samuels. I'm sorry, the female Derek Jackson. What did Derek Jackson do? Derek Jackson told black women what they wanted to hear. What does Danica Marie do? She tells black men what they want to hear. Simple as that. That's it. That's all there is to it. Danica is as useless. She is as useless an advisor. She doesn't give any actionable advice. She doesn't. She doesn't know what she's. I mean, surface level stuff. She's an extremely attractive woman who uses her attractiveness to make money. There's nothing wrong with that, but let's call it what it is. There's nothing otherwise. There's nothing impressive about Danica outside of the way she looks. Sorry. I said it. Don't care.
Every summer, I would just go door to door.
Ralph Lewis said Pearl farted. Oh, my God. Well, I don't know. Oh, no, man. Maybe she did.
Or in a neighborhood. And I just, like...
Lindora Lint says Danica has a ring. She does have a ring, Lenora. But let me ask you something. Since your ass walked right into this. Does this look like a woman who is married? Since we're going to get into the Danica Marie discussion, does this look like a woman who is married to y'all? Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that! Yes, this is Danica Marie. Yes, she is. This is Danica Marie. Yeah, Danica has a ring, but it doesn't look like she respects that ring. Now, does she? Yeah, this is a man's wife doing this video. I don't know what house this is, but does this look like a married woman to you? I don't know of, I mean, look, oh, look at it. Oh, look at that. Hold on, let me go back. Look at you looking at the camera. Check it out. Look at this. Does that look like a married woman to you? Does that look like a married woman to you? Huh? Where you at, Lindora? Lindora got quiet. She got quiet. Can you explain this? Can you explain this? Yeah, she's got a ring. Okay, I'm glad she got a ring, but who is she doing this for? Damn sure not her husband. Looks like she's trying to advertise herself. Yeah, look at this. Yep. Yeah, this is advertising those assets. Where you at, Lindora? Where you at? Danica Marie is the female Derek Jackson. She is an attractive woman. She is an attractive woman who tells black men, what they want to hear. Well, Derek Jackson was the same thing. Derek Jackson was the same. He's the same thing. He's an attractive man who told black women what they wanted to hear, and it made him a fucking fortune. Where you at, Lindora? Lindora says, yes, it does. A lot of wives dress nice. Very, very true. A lot of wives do dress nice, but do wives who respect their husbands put out videos like this? Lindora? I mean, where you at, Lindora? Where you at? Okay, a lot of wives dress nice, but do wives make videos like this? And y'all in the chat, stop capping. Stop capping like you would not smash out Danica Marie. Stop capping. Look, man. Look. I'm not a fan of Danica Marie, but guys, let's be mature here. Right? Goose Day Janice. She's very attractive. She is very sexually attractive. Now, I would never smash her because she is a walking false rape accusation. But to deny that she's unattractive simply because I don't like her is sophomoric. No, I'm not a fan of Danica Marie, but to deny that she's attractive, that's just disingenuous. Come on. Where you at? New Horizons with the $2 super chat says staged house, no furniture, fake as I'm trying to tell you. Where you at, Lindora? Where you at? Danica Marie got a ring. Yeah, she got a ring. She doesn't act like it. Biz with the $5 super chat says, not at all. My husband would straight up would never set foot back in that home with that nonsense she's displaying. There you go. There it is. Oh, Lindora. Oh, this is cute. So Lindora says there are actual lingerie models that are wifed up and Danica Marie is covered. She's covered in what appears to be paint. She's wearing skin-tight clothes, clearly advertising the assets. She may as well be in a bikini. Like Lindora, you're reaching, sweetie. You're reaching. Look, you got God. Danica Marie is acting like a hoe here, y'all. Danica Marie is acting like a hoe. This is not a woman. This is not the way a wife should act. Sorry. This is not the way a wife should act. So, look, if y'all want to go over and sub to Danica, dude, be my guest. Listen, good-looking women have been telling men what they want to hear for eons. She's no different.
My parents didn't know anyone or anything, and I would just ask for a job until I found one. It took me like 2 days. I went door to door in rich neighborhoods.
Listen to this. Do you hear? People miss this about her. Listen.
A job until I found one. It took me like
Look, hold on. Listen to this. Born on third base, huh? Check it.
Or anything, and I would just ask for a job until I found one. It took me
Wait, hold on. I got to rewind.
When I was in college,
in college.
And had a degree. Every summer, I would just go door to door in a neighborhood, and I didn't, like, my parents didn't know anyone or anything, and I would just ask for a job until I found one. It took me like 2 days. I went door to door in rich neighborhoods, and I just asked for a job. It was for a YouTube video. I just wanted to see if I could get one.
Yeah.
And I got offered a sales job in like 2.
Well, there you go. Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you guys see what's going on here? In college, she went door to door in rich neighborhoods. Her parents didn't know these people. She's in college. She went door to door in rich neighborhoods while she was in college and asked for a job. I don't know anyone who's done that. Gentlemen, that's the kind of work ethic and business acumen. That right there, that characteristic that she has, that is one of the many reasons why she is successful. That is one of the many reasons she is successful. This is flat out effort and hard work in college, going door to door, asking for a job.
A day.
HMHM Panda said she was just making a video. She still did it. She still did it, didn't she?
Day I did it.
Yeah.
And none of them asked me about my college degree.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
So this is just anecdotal, I guess.
So this is like pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
and
kid,
I know
when I
that's,
was your age.
I know that's really like a privileged or whatever
Well,
point of view, but it works, to be honest. And
And I'm pretty entrepreneurial, so I mean, that's definitely what I did.
Ooh, Darren Rock says, okay, wear this to church. Yeah. Yeah, Lindora. Oops, that's Nina. My bad. Yeah, I like putting these fake good girls on blast. Yeah. Why doesn't Danica wear this to church? Wear this to church and see what happens. Fuck out of here.
I dropped out of college after a year.
right. So how would you argue
There goes Lindora again. Yeah, not everybody can go knock on rich folks' doors. Who says so? Who says they can't? Oh, right. She was white. She's white. That's why she went, well, how about rich black neighborhoods? How about rich black neighborhoods? Huh? Listen, man, continue to try to disqualify her success all you want to. You guys are just hating.
that you need a college degree when
And Lindora's just wrong. You're another angry black woman.
you didn't need one?
Well, because I think the fact of the matter is a lot of people just do not have that capability. A lot of people,
See?
and this is where I'm like what I would call a true
Right.
conservative, because I believe there is like a natural hierarchy in the world.
Lindora says there are plenty of things I wear that you wouldn't wear to Sunday service. And that means that,
She belongs to the streets.
I swear to God, man, you let these bitches talk long enough, eventually they tell on themselves. Funny as hell.
And it turns out, unfortunately,
You walked right into that, sweetheart.
that like not everybody has that entrepreneurial thing. Not everybody has that self-starting
I
initiative.
agree with you.
And so, a lot of people are
that makes
just, they
sense.
kind of need to go to college to become like middle management or get those kinds of jobs. And okay, maybe education not so much, but certainly housing is more expensive.
I'll tell you what. For middle management, yes. But the reason why middle management positions require a college degree is because they need a way to filter people out. That's the only reason I can think of, to be honest with you. I mean, it is what it is.
Expensive, food is more expensive. A lot of these things are just more expensive. And, if you just talk to your average young person, people are struggling out there these days.
But it's also because they're not getting together,
Lindora, you lost. Stop it.
so people are living off of one income, right?
What do you mean?
Like, people used to get to, I could be wrong, but didn't people used to get together more? Like, we have more single women.
You mean like marry? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely true. We don't marry anymore. But then, women
Well, there's a
wouldn't be
reason
working.
for that.
And that's a big part of it, too. The point is, here's the point is, you have more people, the wages go down. I mean, that's just necessarily true by the laws of
Right.
supply and
Yeah,
demand.
fair enough.
You know,
Yeah.
because if you and this is what happened during COVID. Is that there was a time when people were competitively, these companies and I think you still see it today. There's like a labor shortage in America, and it's kind of conspicuous.
Lindora, stop it. Give me a break.
Nobody really knows why. If you look into it, there's not great answers. More so, like 9 months ago.
Lindora Lynn says you're an angry almost black. Wait, you're an angry almost. Oh, here she goes. An angry almost black man. You're the one you're the one calling names. Calm down. I mean, you know, maybe you're right. But I am fully black. Both of my parents are black, and when I'm angry, when women are angry, they're unattractive, right? When women are angry, they're unattractive. When men are angry, not so much. Gotcha. Hold up. Where's that sound effect? Hold up. Where hold up. Oh, come on, man. Ah.
Gotcha, bitch.
There we go.
Do you remember that? Well, you live here, but I remember in America, at every fast food restaurant, it would be, oh, we're now offering $15 an hour. We're now offering $3,000 stipend for school. We're now offering this. And that was because there were fewer workers, and so businesses had to compete for them. And how do they compete? They offer a higher wage, more benefits, that kind of thing. And so when there's a glut of labor, which is, you know, and there are millions of people pouring in across the border, millions of people pouring in legally, then it's the other way around. And employees have to say, I'll take less benefits. I'll have to take less money. The more people you have, the lower the wages are going to be.
Right.
And there's disputes about the reason I...
Politically Correct says MTR showed his colors and how quick he will turn on someone he calls a friend and throw them under the bus publicly without talking to them privately. Glad Donovan is a man with a backbone. Yeah, I don't know what the MTR situation is or was. Would I have done what he did? No, I would not have done what he did. That doesn't mean I think he's a simp or a cuck or a beta bitch boy or anything like that. I respect MTR. I've got no problem with him. I would not do what he does, or I would not do what he did. That's just the way I see it.
Said we could go into this is because, and I'm not trying to cop out here, I really do believe that they are bad for the economy, like lots of immigration. I don't think we should have no immigration. We should have net zero.
Right. Well, it's pretty extreme to say it with a college degree, because they could get a degree in philosophy.
Panda says, damn, Nick be all nasal. Dude, I have a high-pitched nasal voice. Come on, man. Like, what's wrong with niggas with a high-pitched nasal voice, man? Come on.
What do you mean?
Didn't Charlie Kirk say that there's
right.
a green card or something with the college degree? But it's like, so he gets a degree in philosophy?
The phrase says, no one is black, sorry, but no one is the color of a blacktop. We come in different shades of brown. Well, yeah. I mean, of course nobody's black, but it's the color. White people are not really white, right? Black people aren't really black. Hell, brown people aren't really brown, and yellow people aren't really yellow. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Imitator of Jesus says, Donnie responded with emotion. Again, I'm not gonna look, man. I've made missteps in my career too. Don't get me wrong. I've made missteps as well. I don't know. I would not have done what MTR did.
He's an American.
Right, yeah, sociology degree. Easy
Ben says O'Shea was going to banish him if he didn't do that. I can... O'Shea doesn't run shit, man. Ban him from what? Niggatube? O'Shea the Overlord? It's so funny. People actually... O'Shea's got you... This is funny. This is why you know Niggatube is a bubble. These niggas over there actually think that O'Shea runs shit. Number one. Number two, pardon me. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. Number two, y'all haven't figured out that O'Shea doesn't give a fuck about y'all. He doesn't give a fuck about the black community. He doesn't. He doesn't care. He calls himself pro-black. No, O'Shea is pro-O'Shea. Man, he's pro-O'Shea. If he cared so much about black people, why hasn't he done a Black 21 convention like he's been talking about for the last decade? No, man. And look, man, it is what it is. But listen, man, don't let that nigga fool you. O'Shea does not care about you guys. He doesn't care about, he does not care about the black community. He doesn't. He acts like he does, but he doesn't. He's got you fooled. But whatever. Hey, whatever. I ain't mad.
Blessing, you'll be signing up for the philosophy.
Yeah. We need that. We need more philosophers. So, but the real reason, Imitator of Jesus says O'Shea is pro-racist. Look, I'm not going to go that far.
I'm not going to go that far, but I'll tell you this. O'Shea is a black supremacist. Yes, he is. He is a black supremacist. There is such a thing as a black supremacist. O'Shea said on his, somebody told me, he said he doesn't collaborate with white people. He just straight up said it. In our dealings right at the end of 2018, when I told him Anthony was thinking about doing a Black 21 convention, he's like, yeah, white boys always trying to take our shit. White boys always trying to take our shit. So, yeah, maybe O'Shea is racist. Look, man, I don't know if he's racist or not, but he has a lot of racist tendencies. I'll just put it to you like that. He says, I don't collaborate with white YouTubers. He said this in his own words. Let a white person come on and say, I don't collaborate with black people. What's the difference? Thank you.
The real reason I'm against it is because the people that are coming into America are changing America. Let's be real, they're not white. And it's not that I have something against non-white people, but America, for its entire history, was 90% white. And white people create a specific kind of country. When you bring in people that are not white, number one, by the next century, America is going to be 10, 20% white. It's going to be a fundamentally different country.
Tam Tam says, the manosphere has all the tea. No, Nigatube has all the tea.
Because people are not interchangeable. And it's not to say that we don't like them. It's not to say that they're inferior. It's not to say anything about them. But you can't take America that's 90% white in 1965 and it's going to be 80% non-white in 2100 and say that's the same place. You know?
So that's why they call you a white supremacist.
That is why they say that.
Because you feel like by changing the entire demographic makeup of a country, it's going to completely change the country. The same way,
it would, but
in
it is
Poland,
what it is.
They switched it out with Nigerians, it would be a completely different country.
Exactly, yeah. How do you feel? Well,
he didn't say the next 20 years. He said by 2100.
I don't want to get you in trouble, but I mean, did you think that makes me a white supremacist to say that?
No, that kind of makes sense, like what you're saying. Personally, I'm trying to get my Africans in America, so we're not.
Oh, here we go. Easy Band's official says O'Shea went to Poland for school. Sounds about white. O'Shea was never in medical school, y'all. Dude, O'Shea's been in medical school for 12 years, fam. Fuck out of here. Y'all niggas still believe that dude is in medical school? So O'Shea is the OG. He's got game. He's in medical school, and he gives a fuck about you niggas. Got it.
We're not going to support that. Look at, please make it easy for me to immigrate next year.
Well, I will say, hey, they are more industrious than American blacks.
Get blessing in.
He can stay.
Well, look at everyone but blessing and king. But no, I understand because it would be
okay. I don't see what was wrong with that. I'm trying to get my African, dude, she has African people that work with her, guys. She's got African people that work for her. When she said, I'm trying to get my Africans, it's not like she's claiming ownership over them. Really? Like, seriously, black supremacists are always looking to turn something. Oh, my God, she's racist because she said my Africans. Oh, my God, give me a break. Give me a break. Dude, she was clearly, dude. Anyone who actually takes that seriously is being disingenuous. Somebody said O'Shea and Jason Black went in. I don't know who Jason Black is. You guys are going to have to fill me in on who that guy is.
the same. Even if we took race out of it and said Poland, let's say Poland. Like, I lived in Germany and the UK. If you switched the UK with Germans, it would be a completely different place, too. Because I lived in Germany for, like, 3 months when I was 18. So, yeah. I mean, it would be less, like, I would say there's less cultural differences. It wouldn't be as extreme as, say, Poland and Nigeria, but it would still be really different.
Right.
Yeah, the Clue Channel says if Africans in the studio aren't offended, Nigatube shouldn't be either. No, Nigatube pretends to be offended because they like to talk about racist white people. She's talking to a racist white person, they made a joke involving a black person, so she must be racist. Come on. They don't even believe that. Jesus Christ. Hey, pro-black. Okay. So Jason Black is a pro-black. Okay, got it.
It's degrees. And people's rebuttal to that is
I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before. I don't know who he is.
always, they're like, well, American Southerners are different than New Yorkers. And it's like, yeah, but Southerners and New Yorkers are more similar than either of them are to people from Asia.
Okay. What's the problem with that? He's right. Southerners and people from the North, Northerners, have more in common than people from Asia. And to be honest with you, when people from Asia have children in America, those Asian people then take on American sensibilities. They talk like Americans, they have the same viewpoints as Americans, etc., etc.
Because it's about proximity. Regardless, when you bring over a completely foreign population, they use a different alphabet, they use a different language, a different religion, different culture, different body language, sense of humor. It's just not going to be the same place. And
this actually makes sense. He's right. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the fact that more immigration means that America changes, because if you get enough immigration in one country, at some point it is going to start to change the fabric of the American of whatever country you're in. Oh, pardon me. It is going to start to change it. I don't have a problem with it. If Nick does, okay, he does. Fine. It is what it is. Free agent number 456 says they spent all day shuffling words around to make that come out racist. Right, dude. Like, this is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous.
And it gets to this fundamental idea, and this is maybe this is another reason why I say I'm a true right-wing person, not a liberal, is because I don't think people are interchangeable. I don't think that Germans and Italians are interchangeable. They're not. They're different. They look different. They have a different temperament. Even if an Italian was adopted by a German, they would still be different.
Timothy Wooten says Jason Black said he is trying to take down Just Pearly. How the hell can somebody take down Just Pearly if nobody knows who he is? Somebody tell me who Jason Black is. I see his name. I've seen his name in the comments. I have no idea who this dude is.
They would still act differently.
And nobody can bring down anybody. Dude, I've had two channels totaling over 2 million subscribers do numerous hit pieces on me, and I'm still here. I don't know who the fuck Jason Black is. I'm sure he's a nice guy, whatever he does or whatever he talks about, but he's not taking down Pearl. What? How the hell is a nobody gonna take out Pearl? Like, come on, man. Yeah, that's to me that's just a clout chase. Whatever he sounds like. Yeah, I'm gonna take down Just Pearly things. Yeah, good luck with that.
The other Germans, even if they spoke with the perfect German accent and everything.
Pro Man says the business is his show. Still drawing a blank, guys.
Because there is something that's biological.
I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful of the dude. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I don't know who he is.
About how we all are. There is something
yeah, I know Shay, but I don't know who Jason Black is.
Genetically determined that goes beyond our height, weight, and why wouldn't it? I mean, like I could tell you were Irish because your hair is lighter. That's like a genetic trait. Why would it stop there? We look like our parents genetically. Why wouldn't we act like our parents? Why wouldn't we, know?
I have a story. So I have 6, I'm one of 6 that I grew up with.
The Clue Channel $5 says Jason Black is the one that brought this Nick video to Ninja Tube. Okay. All right.
My parents adopted 3 kids, and they actually gave up one of my siblings for adoption. So my oldest brother, his name's Greg, he was given up for adoption because my mom was 18, 17.
Soralita Bass, if you keep bitching about how much I pause this video, I'm going to ban you. This is what I do, man. This is what I do. I pause the video. I pause it too much, blah, 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 blah. This is what it is, man.
It was like they were like young. It's the same parents, but they couldn't take care of him at the time.
And just because
but it's crazy.
I
didn't know about him.
Don't
I was 22.
Like it doesn't
and so he
mean
grew up with a
I'm going
completely different
to stop
family in
doing it.
northern Wisconsin, and it's like this family where he never even left his hometown type stuff. And now he owns a sailboat company.
Wow.
And we're very, like, we grew up traveling the world and all this stuff. And he grew up with these parents that never left their hometown. So I can definitely, and he walks like my brothers. And I used to always think it was like more the environment because I would see the single mother statistics. So I would think, oh, it's more environment than biological because these kids are fucked up when they're with a single mom. But this changed my view on it.
No, kids do get fucked up when they are raised by a single mom. This is how it is.
Because I had the 2 case studies basically in my own life because we adopted 3 teenagers. I mean, it's different because we didn't take them from babies. But like we had these 3 teenagers that were heavily influenced by us, but they still were not more similar. Even though they grew up in our family for a couple of years, they were not more similar than the one that we had no contact with till he was 30. And it's so weird. He has the same sense of humor. He walks like my brothers. I was an economics major. He was an economics major.
An economics major. You don't think that there are elements of her economic education that has helped her with YouTube?
Like he...
Shin Goku says, Jason Black runs a YouTube channel called The Business. Okay, what's it about? I mean, it's the business. What's a shtick? What are his talking points?
Is a sales software engineer. My mom was in sales. My dad was an engineer. It's all these commonalities that have nothing to do with how he was raised. So I really agree with you. There has to be something biological.
Yeah, well, and it's to me.
No, he's right. He's right. There are biological factors that determine, how you act and react to certain things. Right? And but nothing will, how can I put this? Nothing will drain a boy of his biological advantages like a single mother. Biz with the $10 super chat says the signs of an intelligent person is being able to hold 2 opposing ideas and not immediately dismiss one without investigation. Pearl is doing her due diligence. I would agree.
That's just like common sense. I mean, they have that expression, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree.
Right.
What does that mean? And I get it. It's you have to have a case study like that.
AA says, yep, it helped her buy subs. Yeah, because she totally bought 1 million subs. Got it.
Contrast, because it is a tricky thing to sort of disentangle how much of it was learned and how much of it was sort of intrinsic, how much of it was innate. But I think you find when you look at countries, well, it's very clear because America looks different than Mexico. And it's like, well, who made Mexico the way? And there's this argument, they say, colonialism made it that way. Racism made it that way. It's like, I don't know. I think, different people create a different kind of society based on their behaviors. And the point is, and that's really a repudiation of liberalism, which says that we're all a blank slate, that we're all the same.
Right. Well, like Germans, we're better engineers. All my brothers are engineers.
Audi, Mercedes.
And there's something biological with men and women, too, because, again, there's 10 kids, and we have 5 girls, 5 boys, and it's like all my brothers are engineers. I'm a YouTuber.
Yeah.
I was like, stop.
Yeah, Black Lemur says, how does one... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the hell that happens.
No, they all said I was crazy. Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Austin.
Well, but hey, you're very industrious.
Yeah.
Very industrious. Do you see this? Nick recognizes the industriousness and the resourcefulness of Pearl. He recognizes this. Yes. She was born into a wealthy family, and yes, she's a trust fund kid. That doesn't disqualify her success.
There are a lot of people that would like to be a YouTuber because they'd like people to care about their opinions and what they ate for lunch and, things about my life that just make sense or whatever. But how many people could make a company and deal with the things you deal with, like recruiting and...
Do you see this? again, I don't agree with. I don't agree. If Nick Fuentes is a racist, I'm against that. I don't care. But for all of the haters that are coming after Pearl, Nick right now, and see, Nigatube doesn't want to. All they want to do is racist with Pearl. But what Nick is doing right now is he is unpacking to the world why Pearl is where she is. Why Pearl is where she is. She's industrious.
Because I mean, not on the same scale as you, but I do things, and it's tough. It's a business. Mm-hmm. It's fun in front of the camera, but behind the scenes, it's a business.
Oh, my God, dude. Don DeMarco. Holy moly. He gets it. All of these people who hate on Pearl, go to her studio, man. Go to her studio. Look, I know Pearl personally, guys. I was there from the start, man. Not only that, I run my own YouTube channel. Shit's not easy, man. Nick understands this, and he's seeing behind the scenes what Pearl does. Get out of here. Joker with the $10 super chat says, the truth is immigration has negatively affected black Americans more than any other group. Who are the doctors and engineers? Immigrants. Who owns the liquor stores? Immigrants. Oh, boy. Uh-oh.
It's a German attribute to be industrious. I'm Italian. The only times I'm on time for things is when I get the time.
Here we go.
I'm wrong. When I think I'm supposed to be there way earlier than I'm actually supposed to be there. Because I thought I was supposed to be here at 3.
Oh, really?
That's why I texted you. I texted you, I'm on my way, because I thought I was already 10 minutes late when I was leaving.
Yeah, well, it's okay. Blessing was more late African.
Well, he's black.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you Blessing was probably laughing too. Which brings us to one of the main problems that Nigatube had with this. Let me let her finish this.
I'm giving you a hard time. I don't mean
No, he's really offended.
You see?
He's going to report you to HR. We have a really big HR department.
Are you serious with this?
Auntie Jenny runs it.
Unbelievable.
You'll be on her show this week.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm in trouble. But.
Okay, so that's...
All of this, dude, these are lighthearted jokes, guys. These are lighthearted jokes. He said, he admitted to being racist, as he's like, oh yeah, I'm a racist and I'm this and that and the other. And then he jokes about it. He's like, well, they call me a racist, they call me this. Oh, well, he's black. Oh, there's my racist coming out. Guys, that's what's happened. Like, really, dude? And then he said, I'm giving you a hard time. Dude, come on. But here's the other fact. Niggas are late, y'all. Niggas are late. We admit it. Niggas be late. Niggas, we can't be on time for anything. And I'm in that camp too. I'm in that camp too. What did I schedule the podcast for 6? Started at 6:30. Black people are just late. That's just how it is. It is a universal fact among all races that black people we just run late. That's just how it goes, man. And we make jokes about it. We make jokes about the fact that we are late to everything. Nick Fuentes is just leaning into the caricature that's painted him as this quote-unquote racist. He's like, well, listen, of course he was later than I, because he's black. Everybody's laughing, including Destiny. Jesus Christ, sorry, Blessing, including Blessing. Come on, man, like these people. Oh my god. Yeah, women are late too. That's for sure. Women are, oh my god, women stay late. Jesus fucking Christ. Yes, Devin says agree and amplify. Dude, look, man. Look, dude. I don't know Nick Fuentes personally, and I've never watched any of his content, but there's nothing in this video that would imply that he is a racist. I mean, I don't know. Listen, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't see it. I don't see it.
So you're not even against immigration all the way, but you're only for immigration when it benefits America. So if there's a shortage in an industry or something, and you feel like it's going to completely change what the country is, if we go from it being 80 to 90% white and having one set of values and culture to the opposite. And you said it's on track to doing that?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're on track. By 2100, it's going to be like 30% white in America.
Whoa! Wow.
People.
Wow. So we're on track. Wait, 2100. 2100. 2100 is 77 years from now. Nick Fuentes is 24 years old. 24 years old. He will be 91 in the year 2100. Nick Fuentes is not going to be able to wipe his own ass, much less notice that he is now the minority in America. Good God almighty. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. Look, I agree with him that the more immigrants we have in America, the more it changes the complexion of America, but I don't have a problem with it. I just don't. Nick appears to have a problem with it. I don't have a problem that he has a problem with that. I don't know how that makes him a racist. I really don't. I don't know how that makes him a racist. I mean, I don't know. I'll do a little bit of research and all this other kind of stuff, but I haven't seen anything on this live stream that would suggest to me that he is racist or doesn't like or hates black people. Pardon me. I really don't.
Don't really realize what that's going to look like. It's going to be a fundamentally different place, and and
again, if you don't want America to be a fundamentally different place, that's fine. It is what it is. That doesn't mean you're a racist.
I'm using these words precisely. It doesn't mean inferior. It doesn't mean, because that's what they always say. It's like, oh, you don't like these people, or oh, you hate them, or you think they're worse. It's like, it's just different. One of the things,
guys, I don't see anything racist or wrong about what he's saying. It appears that one of the fundamental differences between me and him is that he appears to mind that America will change fundamentally. Right? I wouldn't mind. Partially because I'll be dead and buried in 77 years. Jesus Christ. Real Bravado Network says, Donovan, he describes himself as a racist. Shouldn't we take him at his word? I think he describes himself as a racist as an agree and amplification technique. He just sat here and told us. I don't think it's inferior. I just think it's different.
The most profound thing is that as human beings, we love our homes. That's what the Odyssey is about. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. Devin says, I wonder if he defines himself as a racist like Donovan calls himself a misogynist. Exactly. Exactly. What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the XYZ episode of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, and small dick energy. Does that mean that I'm toxically masculine? Does it mean I'm a misogynist? Does it mean I have small dick energy? I mean, my dick is 2.5 inches, but that's beside the point. He calls himself a racist because he's just, all right, fuck it. If they think, yeah, okay, yeah. People call me, totally I'm a racist. Come on, guys.
Literature's about is we love our people, we love our homes, we love where we're from. And can you really say that when America's transformed in this way, that it'll still be our home? It'll still be like the way it is?
I think the answer to that is yes. Listen, there are some things about America that are never going to change. Right? There are some things about the fabric of America that's just never going to change. But again, is it still going to be your home? Yes. Of course it's still our home. We're still in America. Guys, I fail to see where the racism is. I'm going to do a part 2. I'm going to do a part 2 of this. How far have we gotten? Oh, Jesus, we're only an hour into this. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a part 2 on the next episode. I'll do a part 2 and a part 3. The part 3, I'll take phone calls. I'll take phone calls. Basil Denson says, he is definitely racist, just not at this point. Okay, all right. I mean, who knows? Look, I'll watch the whole thing right alongside you guys, right? Maybe he is a racist as I define it in my head. So far, I haven't seen any evidence of that. Pressure Beat says, Donovan, you're at least 10 inches. Shh. Real Bravado Network, $20 super chat, says if he's doing that in a sarcastic way, it's kind of unclear, but I'm cool with anyone being a racist. My only issue is when someone tries to prevent my progress because of their race. Issues are driving them. I would agree. I agree. I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. All right, guys. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. Just to be clear, I agree with Pearl 100. Not agree. I support Pearl 100%. I know that Pearl is not a racist. I'm not going to ever say that she's a racist because that's just not who she is. That's just not who she is. And I think the guys over on Nigatube, they know she's not racist. They're just doing this to get all in their feelings for clicks. And if, honestly, man, anyone who really believes that Pearl is a racist because of this, they're either, how can I put this? They're either looking for reason to be upset or they're just being dishonest. Joker with the $10 super chat says, why is restricting immigration only an issue in Western countries? Some of the most restrictive immigration policies are in Asia. If Japan lost its majority population, would anyone have an issue? A lot of Japanese people probably would, which is exactly why they have very strict immigration laws. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.